Hi, everybody. Hi, Mallory.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Hi, everybody in chat. Thank you for staying awake. Let me see who we have tonight. And happy Saturday. So I'll start at the top. Okay, let me see. Scrolling. Okay. Tad, nice to see you. Max, K Braze, Amanda, Thomas, Shay, Benet, Jessica, Nora's grandma, Aries, PJs, good to see you. Heather, Mindy T, Aries Pyork, always good to see you. Brett Mom, good to see you. Candace, good to see you. Lady V, always good to see you. If you'd like to come up, you're welcome to. Smiles are beautiful and contagious. I love your name. Kathy L. Let's see, Mindy T. I think I already said hi to you. NorCal Jim, good to see you. Connie, oh, you're awake still, Connie. You're becoming an insomniac like all of us. Carolina, good to see you. Nikki, Max, good to see you. Nikki, or that I think another Nikki. And Mata, I don't know if I said that right. Good to see you. Diana. Oh, Shay, I like the little turtles and the watermelons. Truth Seeker, McEasy. Do I have everyone? Let's see. Melissa, good to see you. Jay, good to see you. Glory Dancer. I think I have everyone. I don't want to miss anyone. I'm scrolling. Wheelby, hello. Teresa, not T, but Teresa. Candace, WV, Holler Girl. And I know this is annoying. I just want to say hi to everyone. Spicy Sugar, Jenna, Tiff, Killer Facts, hello. Good to see you. Allison Faye, good to see you. Tiff, oh, thank you. You're fighting to sleep. Brandy, I think you're almost there. Aries, I like the little dolphin emoji. Kim, nice to see you as well. Allison Faye, Lady Tinkerbell. Okay, I think I got to everyone. Oh, and Detective Juan, of course, and Danielle. I think, Mallory, did I get everybody?
That I've seen so far.
Okay, if I didn't get you, hello. And Poppy, okay, now I believe I got everybody. Mama Michelle. Oh, Claire said I forgot. I forgot her. I'm so sorry. Hello, Claire. I'm happy that you're here. All right. So, how's everyone's evening going so far? Mallory?
Oh, me? Good. I thought you were asking them, so that's why I didn't answer.
Well, chat and you. And
Oh,
Misfit, thank you so much. You're always so kind. I'm happy that you're here. And are you drinking coffee to stay awake? And he said, thank you for having us. I hope you're doing well tonight. I hope you are doing well tonight, Misfit. You are too kind, Misfit. I don't know if I was on mute before when I was thanking you, but thank you
you
so
weren't.
much, Misfit. I was?
No.
Oh, okay. You're so kind, Misfit. You really are. Lots of coffee. LOL, of course. Okay, yeah, I have coffee right now too. So I'll be up all night. Someone said moonshine. I swear I saw that.
Yeah, I saw it too.
Okay, moonshine. Just a shot. Nice. Do you make that yourself? Hi, Cherie. Drinking your coffee. Aw, I'm happy to hear that, Aries. All right, so I have a few things to go over. I have like just a bunch of different videos. I'll try and figure out I don't know what order I'm going to go in. I'll just pick them. One of them is about how it's the person, they believe it's a former FBI agent, and he believes it's a revenge type killing. And
Mm.
he goes into how he wanted to dominate and control them. He also goes into his past addiction and the incel theory, and that he believes that they did maybe cross paths in the
Mhm.
past, and maybe he was rejected, and that goes into about not having them found the knife and if that will be a problem
Right.
in the case. Yeah, and what the motive possibly would have been, and that if they do need the motive or not to make the case, and if
Mm.
they do, yeah. And also, have they've ever had someone in criminal justice that turned into like a killer before? So that's like some of the stuff. And then also I have two videos on Murphy. That's why Murphy's in the thumbnail. Well, also because Murphy's so cute. I want a golden doodle now. But so it has to do with the hair that was found, the dog hair. So about if Murphy could help solve the case, possibly, that would be amazing if that did happen. And how he has no animal at his house. So that would be crucial evidence if there was animal dog hair found. So those are two of the videos, but then I also have a lot of other stuff. So I'll get into, I guess, the revenge one, and then I'll show the Murphy one, and we'll get into other stuff. Does that sound good, Mallory?
Mhm. Sounds
Okay.
great.
All right. I guess after the first video, I'll open up the panel too, see if Lady V or Liza or anyone wants to come up. Just let me know. El Guapo, good to see you. Hold on, let me see. Oh, and let me see. Oh, Leo girl, hello, hello. All right, so let me get the video. Mallory, entertain everybody while I get the video, please. I'm just kidding, but you
Uh,
can say hi.
Hi. Um, how should I entertain? I don't know. You guys have to say something to me in chat so that way I can respond
Tell them
as my
jokes
entertainment.
and juggle. I'm just kidding. They
Yeah.
wouldn't see you juggling.
No. I'm not gonna dance. I'm not gonna sing. Nope. 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 Um, nope. Not singing. Uh, I'm not gonna dance. Um, yeah, I do know that Brian can't park. How's the Minnesota weather? It sucks. It snowed again like 4 or 5 inches again here just the other day. So I'm over it. Let's see. Hmm. Hey guys. Do you think he was an incel? Um, Currently, yes. In the past, I'm not quite sure. Um, just because I'm surprised that he was on Tinder and that aspect of everything has kind of thrown a wrench into the whole incel theory overall, for me at least. But yeah.
Speaking of Tinder, can you imagine if they had Tinder back in the day of like Ted Bundy?
Gross.
I just think that he would have really taken advantage of that and had way more killings if they had dating websites back then.
Ugh. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the same way now that people are now learning about crimes in that way of like we're thinking that there's so many more crimes happening, but it's just also because of how technology and social media and stuff like that has given us the ability to talk about it right away. And um and how it's not necessarily more, it's just more prevalent. So it would be interesting if it would have actually happened more, or if we would have just heard about it, or if it would have been different types of people versus having to like stalk certain people in Bundy's case.
I saw Shay said swipe swipe, what did she say? Swipe to the left or swipe no? Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Avery, hello, good to see you. Okay, all right. We'll play the video. Please press put a 1 if you
To discuss these stories further, we welcome in Stuart Kaplan, a former FBI special agent and an attorney.
You're
Good
good.
morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Always good to be with you.
Let's take Kohberger first. There is some conjecture, and it is conjecture at this point, that he had some serious mental issues. We know he suffered a heroin addiction that he had to go to rehab for. He's also being accused of being an incel at some point. And then there's the criminal justice aspect where he might have been studying these cases and wondering if he could do it for himself. What do you think makes the most sense here? And we are just speculating. I should posit that first.
I think given the brutality of the way these murders were carried out, this is an individual certainly that has obviously some mental health issues, but I think this was more of a signal of dominance or control and revenge. I think the evidence is going to play out that at some point he crossed paths with at least one of the victims, and his interpretation or perception was rejection. He was not someone who could accept rejection because in his mind, he was a controlling individual. And I think the fact that there is more than ample evidence to suggest and prove that he surveilled this home for quite some time, that in carrying out these murders, this was a revenge type of killing.
And we did hear from some of his former classmates, those in the program with him at Washington State, that he was perhaps a little bit harsher toward female students and some of his female colleagues as far as what their theories were on certain crimes and things of that nature. I wonder, though, is there's still no murder weapon in this case? The police, according to their affidavit of probable cause, said that they found the knife sheath and that there was DNA there, but no knife yet. How big of a problem is that for prosecutors in this case?
I don't think it's going to be a problem that in any way is going to derail the ultimate success of this prosecution. If you recall, the sheath or the holster that would have secured the knife was left behind. It is reported that his DNA is on that. I think there's more than ample, and I would call it more circumstantial evidence, given also the eyewitness who survived. I think the evidence is overwhelming to convict Kohberger. I think the fact that this knife may not ever be recovered may be of zero consequence to the overall success of this prosecution. But I also will tell you that now that they have basically most of the pieces of the puzzle, there is an effort to go back and backtrack and try to recover video surveillance of those type of stores or online purchases that may have been made. And again, this does take some time. They're probably sifting through his financial records as well as going back to certain stores to see if in fact they can pick up him purchasing this type of murder weapon.
And my last question about Kohberger is, again, we don't know the motive, and this is just speculation, but there is a theory out there that he was in this criminal justice program. He studied a serial killer, at least one. We know the BTK killer. Have you ever run across a case where somebody was sort of inside this criminal justice world, this true crime world, and wanted to see if they could do it themselves and get away with it? Has there ever been a case like that, whether that you've defended or investigated or just heard about or studied when you were in the FBI?
Well, certainly in my tenure with the FBI, ironically, you find these type of individuals who carry out these type of horrendous acts or even these type of serial killers. To a large extent, they're on the genius spectrum, meaning these are highly functioning, highly intelligent individuals. The scary part and the dangerous part is they live amongst us and they blend so well in. Again, And just for your viewers, the motive, while we're curious to really understand and peel back those layers of the onion to try to get into his mindset, keep in mind, motive is not one of the elements that has to be proven in court. It does not matter what his motive is. Obviously, we would like to know. I think the parents would like to know, the victims, the loved ones, we would like to know. But just to make it succinct and for your audience to understand that even though the prosecution team may never know ultimately what his true motive is, in no way is it going to hamper or interfere with a successful prosecution.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
That was interesting. Valerie?
Oh no, I pulled a Brittany. I'm like, oh yeah, that was so interesting. Da, 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 da. I'm like reading my notes. But yeah. Oh, and I think, hold on. I think I saw something in chat. Hold on. Well, hello, Suspicious, by the way. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, Misfit, you are so kind. Seriously, you are so generous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I see Brittany. Hello, Brittany. I pulled a you just a moment ago. I was on mute talking. I learned from you.
Well,
And there she is.
she responds muted.
Yeah.
Way to go. That was nice.
I know, right? That was perfect.
What is happening? Okay, there it goes. That is so weird. No, it was showing me backstage the whole time.
Oh.
Like, it only just shows me come on stage.
So I thought, Brittany, did you get to see that video at all?
No, I missed it. Like, I come right as it was about to end. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. So I thought it was interesting. He was just kind of going over how it was a revenge type killing. He talked about his previous addiction, how he did believe that he was an incel type and that they did cross paths, he believed, and that he may have been rejected by one of the girls, and about the knife not being found, that they don't think that will be a problem. And also, if they don't know the motive, they don't think that's going to be a problem either. And that's kind of what I gathered from it. What about you, Mallory?
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for being so sweet. And real quick, Lucia Williamson, I miss you in the live, and El Guapo. It's so good to see you guys. Thank y'all for being so sweet.
Yeah, I know, it is so good to see. I haven't seen El Guapo for a while. Oh, hi. Is it, I don't know, Sicko? Is that the right way to say it? I think it is. CYKO. Nice. Thank you for being here. Okay, and Ash Cash, thank you for being here. Okay, so that's the one video. I have two Murphy videos. I'm trying to think which one I want to play first. Oh, and we have Lady V. Hello, Lady V.
Hi, guys. Long time no see, everybody.
I
Long time no
know.
see.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to catch your live, and I'm glad that you're live again. You know, that could be tricky. I almost said I'm glad you're alive again. That didn't come out.
Alive again. So does that mean I'm a zombie? I came like back from the dead.
Hey,
Yeah.
I love zombies. What can I say? So
It does kind of feel like it. We went live again, though, because Valerie's channel,
Hi, everyone.
Jay!
all of the
Hey,
same
Jay.
good people, you know?
Oh,
Hi.
I know it. Jay, are
Right?
you like are you in Alaska or something?
Me?
I say,
Well, you're all bundled up.
It's freezing
Jay.
here. I'm
Jay, I'm
feeling
gonna
really ill as
fold
well.
you.
I just stayed up because for Val, really.
Oh,
I'm gonna fold you because I didn't see you in my live, mister.
Yeah, I fell asleep. Sorry.
He's trying to wait for
That's
he's trying
okay.
to wait for Valerie.
I
Come
saw the
on.
one earlier though, so
Zombarinox. I love it.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, let me see. Oh, Anne says Lady V does love SKs.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I grew up in that generation where we had to watch out for those guys. So, yeah, you tend to kind of learn a lot and gravitate
Valerie, if
toward
I
that.
fall off, love, I'll be right back. I literally got to pay my phone bill. I just realized it. I'm such a
Okay,
get through.
no problem. We have a full house, so we're good. All right. And hi, Poppy. Good to see you.
Hey, I heard the British accents, so I had to join.
Poppy, there's my Poppy.
Hey.
Did you figure out Discord, love? Tell me you did.
No, not yet, but I love
Poppy.
Valerie, so I'm here.
I'll get you another link, okay? We'll figure it out.
I think it worked, but I
Oh,
do think
okay.
yeah.
So you're in there. Good. Yay, I can talk to you.
Well, I'm gonna get the other one of the other videos ready, and you guys can chat among yourselves. If you want to talk about the video that I just played, feel free to do that, or talk to chat, whatever you want. And let me just get one of the other videos. Just one moment, please.
Sure.
Hold, please.
Mallory.
Brittany says yes.
What?
No, Mallory.
Oh,
What?
I just heard the Uri.
I know.
I would think that you have a playlist by now of things to do when there's dead air.
No.
Elevator
or-
music.
No,
No, guys, you guys are gonna get her copyright. You guys are too good at that.
Oh no, I watch too much British television.
Oh, I love British TV.
I do too.
What are you a fan of?
Midsummer Murders.
I like, believe it or not, I like the one with what's his name that does the British Bake Off.
Hey,
Oh,
Cynthia.
the greatest British Bake Off. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's his name? Paul Hollywood. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul
You know, you have to go.
Hollywood.
Brow.
Yeah, he's like, oh, brrroo.
Bro.
Brrroo.
No, I like a regular Midsummer Murders with
I like that too.
yeah, with a cap off of a Agatha Christie, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've read Agatha Christie like all my whole teenage years. I
Same.
just love
That's
her.
my beach book.
Oh,
When I go to the beach, I read an Agatha Christie.
the Orient Express and
Oh, all of them.
yeah.
Have you ever
That's
seen
a
Death
good
in
one.
Paradise?
Yeah. That's on the that's on the Nile. Hello.
Yeah, it's a good one, that.
Yeah, that is a very good one. The other one that I like is very, very British. It happens in Greenway.
I like the
Crickets.
what's it? What was the
That's
name
her
of that?
house. That's her
Downton
house.
Abbey?
I'm sorry. Greenway is her house in England. Jay, you're lucky that you live there or were from there because that's the place I'd visit if I went there.
Yeah, I'm from there originally.
Yeah.
I liked Downton Abbey. Oh my gosh, that was.
I can
just
never
so
get
good.
into that. It's really weird.
I first watched it when I found out that they were like the Titanic, like it associated with the Titanic. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
I started to watch it like several times and I didn't. And then people kept talking about it. And my husband and I ran across it and we're like, okay, let's give this a good go. And I mean, we both fell in love with that one.
Yeah, I got really into it. Yeah, I got really into it. Sorry,
Yeah.
I have a couple rescue cats here that are knocking things over tonight. So,
Are you ready,
Guapo.
Val?
Yes, El Guapo, thank you so much. That's really kind of you.
Great, you're getting all this stickers and donations tonight, Val. I'm really pleased for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. Okay, so everybody put a 1 if you can hear the video. Just one moment.
going on mute so you don't hear my rescue cats knocking over everything, including clocks.
Could Murphy, the golden doodle, end up being the key to the case? Investigators say they found what's possibly an animal hair strand inside alleged killer Brian Kohberger's apartment. So is it Murphy's?
Could Murphy the dog provide damning evidence against Brian Kohberger, accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students? Murphy is the golden doodle that belonged to slain Kaylee Gonzalez. Murphy was found unharmed in Kaylee's room after the murders. Just released court documents show that a search of Kohberger's apartment found 13 strands of hair, including 1 from a possible animal or dog. It is likely that Kohberger had blood or other trace evidence on his person, including hair from Kaylee Gonzalez's dog, the document says.
If they found 1 animal hair, and I've been involved with this in the past, which came from the dog that was at the scene, that's a home run.
If the hair found in the suspect's apartment proves to be from Kaylee's dog, it would be compelling evidence. But can a strand of hair be shown to come from a specific animal? I'm at John Jay College of Criminal Justice with a golden doodle named Riley to find out. Can they take that hair that they found and match it to Kaylee's dog?
That's correct. If you get a full genetic profile from a hair found off-site, you can then match it to a DNA sample that you take from a dog as a reference sample.
Forensic biologist Dr. Nathan Lenz showed me how the match is made. First, finding a dog hair from my clothes after I played with Riley.
We would first look under a microscope, confirm what species it came from, and as long as it has a root, we can get plenty of DNA from it.
Meanwhile, Kaylee's beloved dog is being embraced across the USA. An Instagram page has been set up by Kaylee's former boyfriend, Jack Ducour, who is now taking care of the dog. Look at the name, Murphy Gonzalez. And it is written as if by the dog. Missing my mom every day, but trying to live my best life. I got to admire her beauty in the sky this evening, goes one post. I love chasing geese, but when there's a big group of them, sometimes I get a little scared. Murphy's photos and cute posts are capturing America's heart. There are already 67,000 followers paying tribute to Kaylee's memory, responding with comments like, "We've all fallen in love with this pup."
And People magazine reports Brian Kohberger's Instagram account was following the accounts of all 3 female victims. He allegedly repeatedly messaged one of them 2 weeks before the murders and didn't get a response. His lawyer says he will plead not guilty.
That was really interesting.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
Oh, I know. We have Heidi as well. We have a very full panel tonight. Welcome, Heidi. Oh, and she left.
She'll be back.
Okay.
I'll be back.
But yeah, that I thought I wanted to play it for a couple of reasons. One, because Murphy's so cute, and everyone, like they said, has fallen in love with Murphy. And then also, it would be so interesting if that's like a way that they somehow, if that really helped the prosecution with the case.
Yeah, that would just be awesome. And that dog has no bones.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Did you notice he's just like a floppy little teddy bear?
And he reaches so many people. Like, you know, how many people are following this case, but how many are not, and see that a dog is involved, and
then
see,
yeah.
It does. It plays on people's heartstrings. It makes them relate to it.
Yep, it brings in so many more people that wouldn't be involved in crime. Yeah,
I mean, but that is kind of sad, though. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like you have
the fact that people, yep.
Yeah, but then you get an animal and they're like, oh,
thank you. No, I'm like that in a movie even. I'll be like,
what?
Same here. I'm like, don't hurt the dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm always wondering like what happens to the dog, and if something happens to an animal, like
exactly.
Potentially triggering films for animal lovers is like the first Conjuring movie.
Yes.
Or Amityville horror.
Yep.
Those
But
movies
ignorance
I can't
is
watch 'cause
bliss,
bad
right?
things happen to dogs.
Ignorance is bliss. So if you're living in a world where there's no crime and then all of a sudden a dog is involved, wow. World opens.
Ryan, he is with Kaylee's ex, Jack. He said, I just got here and missed that video. Does it say where Murphy is now? So he's with Jack.
Yeah,
he's getting a great life. He's been raised very, very well.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Jack is probably going to make. Well, let's just say Murphy is probably going to be able to support his little habits as well. I mean, he's probably making a pretty good. I mean, he Murphy's probably be making a really good, nest egg for himself.
Well, he's got a lot of followers. I'm one of them.
Well,
So
I
am
know
I.
that's what I mean. I mean, he's got like everybody loves him.
Yeah.
He had an
I,
imposter on TikTok the other day, though.
I heard that. I think that's probably the first time that anyone's ever impersonated a dog.
I think so.
But yeah, that is very interesting that they'll be able to trace it back to Murphy if it is Murphy, because he has no animals. And I just thought that was super interesting. And also, if he did, we don't know for sure how Murphy got in that room. So if he was the one to put Murphy in that room, then he definitely, I would assume, got Murphy's hair on him.
Yeah, you would think at least one. I mean, because they're hypoallergenic. That means that people aren't usually allergic to them because they don't shed as much. But just like we humans, they do shed a hair here and there, just like we do. I mean, it's just not like, short haired dogs or anything that just like leave hair everywhere they go. And it would be, I mean, because if they could trace it back to his DNA, oh my gosh, yeah, he couldn't say that's just any dog. That would be hard to fight.
Nora, I haven't set that up yet just because I want to be able to be doing more streams. Like, I feel bad to have the members set up when I'm not doing them constantly all the time. So I haven't really set that up yet. But soon when I'm doing it like more regularly.
I can't wait for when you can do it more regularly. I think this will be amazing. This channel, I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. That like
I
they feel
agree.
like they can say anything here, really, and not
I-
fear judgment or persecution, for their views. So you already created a really great atmosphere, and that's not easy to do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're
you
welcome.
definitely have, Avery. Yep.
Everybody loves Murphy, yes, and we lost part of our panel, but maybe they'll come back.
They'll
We
get
lost
back.
2 of them.
Well, the dog lovers are still here, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So what's Murphy's Instagram? So I could play that again, but I believe it is just Murphy_Gonsalves.
Yeah.
I
So
could put it in the chat.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great. Okay, so Misfit said just do it. So Misfit, are you meaning to play the video again? Oh, Connie, you're so kind. Thank you so much,
Aw,
Connie.
Thank you,
she is
Connie.
such an absolute sweetheart.
You really are. And I appreciate you staying awake too. Thank you.
I think she's.
I'm feeling awful
talking.
at the moment, but I'm just masking it. You know what I mean? I'm just focusing my mind on this, so it takes away from it. You know what I mean? It's a technique I've developed.
I'm
Right.
sorry that you don't
It's
feel
mind
well.
over matter. It's fine. It's honestly, it's fine. It's fine. It's my fault. You know what I mean? I work too much.
Oh, thank you, Connie.
I think what she's meaning, Val, is for you to go ahead and start your memberships, and that way, if people want to, if people want to go ahead and join, they can. If they don't, until you get where you do it more often, then they don't have to.
Oh, yes, you're right. I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you're okay. I could do that. You're right. I just felt bad to kind of do it if I wasn't regularly putting them out all the time. But yes, I could do that. All right.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure
no,
When
you're
you're
lots
right.
of people would already join, even if you weren't doing them regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's see what else I have. I have a lot more things to talk about and show. And there was an article I wanted to read. So while I get that, you guys chat among yourself and chat to everyone in the chat if you like. Oh, and what did Sis say? Oh my God, Misfit, you are too kind. Thank you for all this love. I really, you really are just the nicest. Thank you.
So what do you do, Jay?
I'm in the music game. That's what I do. I also grow as well for myself and sell it as well legally.
I swear I can't ever talk to you. It's always something about that. It cracks me up. Well, you can make a lot of money at that, one of these days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
I
you?
mean, I do quite well for myself already. I mean, I don't like to talk too much about money or politics or
Well,
religion.
no, I get that. No, I meant
Money
the
and
growing.
money and politics aside, can you put a 1 in the chat if you think that Avery gave the suspect some of his own hair, or a 2 if he didn't? Does that sound okay, Lady
If
V?
who?
If Murphy gave
Oh, you said Avery.
I'm sorry, I'm on
Yeah, I
Avery.
was
I
confused for
heard
a second.
Yeah,
Avery
no.
too.
Oh my god.
I was like, Avery's going giving out pieces of her hair.
I'm
Barry
like,
Fish said
Avery?
yes.
How did
Mer-
Avery give him anything?
Well, Avery is a dog in my family's name, so that's why I went to that. We also have a dog named Flossie. So if Flossie or Avery or
Aw.
Murphy, you think gave his hair to the suspect, put a 1. If not, put a 2. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
So-
Valerie. I was like trying to think of Murphy, but gave the wrong dog's name. Ugh.
So I'm seeing so far mostly I'm seeing a mixture of 1 and 2s.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
How about a 3? I don't know.
Being 3 to Wheelby said being 3, 2, 1. No, what? I'm not sure. Liza, I have no clue. Angie said, I sure hope he did. Fingers
too.
crossed.
Yeah.
I think so.
Angels lie to keep control, said Avery, ?
I know. Well, we have, yeah. Avery, Flossie, Murphy, whatever.
Well,
Ends
we'll
with
have to
a
ask
Y.
Avery next time she's here if she left any hair on him.
So now I know I don't read like Mallory, but I'm going to read a little. So, all right.
Yeah, what happened to
You go,
those
girl.
two?
Hey,
Do
well,
a great
Poppy
job.
is also a dog's name, so I rest my case.
I like that name. Yes.
But it's a
Okay.
dog's name. Go ahead, Valerie. Sorry.
Okay. So Brian Koberger was likely motivated by sexual arousal, I can't speak, and hatred. And it says Brian Koberger, again, the same thing, when he slipped into an off-campus home in the dead of night and allegedly stabbed 4 students to death. He would have been in a heightened state of arousal, and that means he was emotionally, oh God, I don't know if I should even read this, aroused or even sexually aroused as he was killing those girls, and I suspect it was both, said retired FBI profiler. The heightened state of arousal is driven by hatred, not anger, she added. It is a very dark mindset. It is not highly impulsive. It is not reckless. It's, I hate this person. They have to die. Koberger, 28, is charged with murdering Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin on the 13th in a rental house in Moscow between 4 a.m. and 4:25. He has denied the allegations. 2 female roommates, including one who came face to face with the killer shortly after the slayings, were unharmed. But O'Toole suspects that the criminology PhD student's main target was Gonsalves or her best friend Mogan, or possibly both women, who were stabbed to death as they slept in the same bed on the 3rd floor of the King Road home. A K-bar knife sheath was left beside Mogan's body, suggesting that the rampage began in her bedroom before the killer likely descended on the 2nd floor and attacked Chapin and his girlfriend Kernodle. Chapin did not live at the King Road home. Motives for some crimes are unusual and they lie in the offender. He hated them. He needed them dead. Had they done anything to him? No. The victims were likely objects to the killer. It's unclear if the slain students had ever met Koberger, but it was revealed Tuesday he had repeatedly sent a series of messages to one of the women on Instagram just 2 weeks before the slayings. He slid into the girls' DMs. I still think that's funny the way they said that, but he slid into
Crazy.
right? He slid into one of the girls' DMs several times, but she didn't respond. The source told the publication. Basically, it was him just saying, "Hey, how are you?" but did it again and again and again. The report didn't specify which female victim received the messages. O'Toole said the slightest perceived rejection or dismissal could set off a psychopath, whose victims tend to be strangers. She said offenders of this type become injustice collectors, but the victims were allegedly Kohberger's sites long before Instagram messages were ignored. The Washington University doctoral candidate's cell phone pinged at towers near the crime scene at least 12 times, including August 21st. Chris Swecker, the retired head of FBI's Criminal Investigation Division, agreed with O'Toole's drawing comparisons to serial killer Ted Bundy. You can't project normal motives to a killer like this. Kohberger was an awkward person, disconnected on the fringes and margins, and not well adjusted to society. The victims had a large social media presence and attracted a lot of attention online. We know he was trying to contact one of the victims aggressively and persistently. Guys like that, I think all their lives are building up to this point of resentment where it all kind of boils over. Here's a picture of Ted Bundy. He was executed on the 24th of January, 1989. Much like Bundy, Kohberger couldn't interact with women in a normal way. This was Kohberger's way of possessing women and having total control. Chapin and Kernodle were likely just collateral damage and not Kohberger's intended targets. And again, we know that he's being held in the jail. So this just basically says again about how it was his hatred towards them and that it was a sexually motivated crime. So sexually and hateful. What do you guys think about this article?
I would agree with it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Same
I
here.
think the one sentence that you read about his just his anger towards them, I think that was striking.
Well, people have to remember too, not in every case does incel mean that they can't or they don't do
Right.
that thing.
Yep.
But it means it's a frame of mind about women.
Yep.
That is what makes them an incel.
Yep.
So
And they're
usually men like that have a lot of anger toward any woman who dares to step in their way and say something or anything, and or they're going to see slights like everywhere.
yeah, and whether they're awkward or not, they're still going to find those slights. Yep.
Right.
Lady
I've just
V,
got to
that's
feed
right.
my kitten.
Yep.
I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'll just go on mute.
Oh, okay. You don't have to mute it. I don't mind hearing the meows.
Meow, meow.
Oh.
I like the meow meows.
Yeah.
But that's right. Like
cat.
they could be slighted and you don't think that they are. They could
Well, I
appear
mean,
not to be.
You
Yep.
could just say something to them in passing and
Right. Yep.
have no idea. I mean, that's what's scary about it, is because you never know. I
Right.
mean, it might be something, which in this case, I think it was just something totally innocent, and they take it like this big, huge thing. And yeah, I mean, that can be kind of scary when you really stop and think about that.
It's
Yeah.
very scary, but I mean, I think it was resentment that built up from his high school years, his middle
Yeah.
school years, because it
Right.
said that he was picked on from girls and that they rejected him from when he was younger. So it just, this tension and anger and resentment built up and built up and built up. And then
Yeah.
this was the nail in the coffin that just,
Yeah.
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 And this article did a great job of building it up like that. Like they explained it in a way that would put that picture in your mind where he was, not to justify this whatsoever, but it sets it up for you, the reader, as Valerie read, to see how it, came about.
It certainly makes me change my mind about things because I thought he'd just seen them in person. I didn't think like the internet had anything to do with it. But I think what I think he did was, I'm just guessing here, this is pure speculation, that maybe he searched on like a hashtag for Moscow and then he found them through one of the hashtags basically on Instagram. That's how he probably found one of them.
That's a good point. Yep.
Yeah.
Like with the intention of stalking a girl and looking for a girl, you know what I mean?
Yep. And more the reason to keep your profile private.
Yep, definitely. I wonder if a lot of people are making their profiles more like private now than they used to after this case.
I hope so.
Yeah. It just makes you wonder who the hell's looking at it, you know what I mean? It's like it could be someone like that.
Even not even in that locality, but just like worldwide. Make them private, you know?
Shay,
Yeah, and
thank
don't
you
use
so
hashtags
much.
and don't tag locations either.
Sorry, Valerie, go ahead. Sorry.
No
We're just talking
problem.
about internet. We're talking about internet awareness, right?
Thank you so much, Shay. I really appreciate it. She said, great discussion tonight. Well, I have Lady V, I have Jay, and I have Poppy. So thank you guys.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
us.
thanks for bringing me up.
I'm soldiering on despite me being ill. You know, I'm actually. It just takes my mind off it, I suppose, because it's so consuming the case.
Yeah,
but
it
these
really
are
is.
great points that Valerie's bringing up about like just being aware of everything. You know, you don't think about it. You really don't. But
Exactly, you know, because this is straight out of a horror movie. You know what I mean? It's something that
Yep.
we could never think to imagine in our worst nightmares, and I hope no one here ever does. You know.
Sis Vicious said Kaylee was very into true crime, though, so I wonder if he encountered her. We saw the Chronicle of Olivia doc where KG had followed her. He could have seen a comment she made and fixated on her. What do you guys think of that? And great, I like that comment.
That's
definitely.
a good point. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you,
a good
sis.
point. And then he finds it, and then he sees her public profile. So, you know, that could have been a link. Because if any one of us is commenting on something that's, that would have been a private profile, he wouldn't have been able to make the link. But because she has a public Instagram profile and a unique name, perhaps he did see that and connected the dots and found out she was local to him.
Well, maybe, but there's still
a lot of what ifs. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he may have done something like seen that they tagged a certain location and stalked the place over the weekend and like looked on when they posted they were there and something like that. So he could feasibly have
I think
done
in a
it, but it is all a what if, like you say, Lady V.
In a perfect world, I think, Lady V, we're trying to disassociate like our daily lives from what could have happened to her.
Right.
So we want to say like,
but you can't.
Yeah, you can't. Exactly. Yeah, because he could have ran across her in the street, for all we know. Yeah.
I was on a panel the other night with Eliza, and I just absolutely love her. By the way,
I love
she's
that
just
name.
the sweetest thing. She is so intelligent and smart.
That's such a Bennett sister name, not to sound British.
But she is just, I mean, she's just very insightful too. And she was saying that because it goes back to us wondering whether he went to that
the Mad Greek.
Mad Greek.
Right.
And she said that with him being a vegetarian and him being such a stickler about the pots and pans and things like that, she doesn't think he would have gone there for food because
I don't either.
Because he would have looked for like a Jewish place that had
a A kosher.
kosher.
Yeah.
Kosher stuff that nothing can touch everything else. I don't know
Can
all
I
of
ask
that
you guys a
stuff.
question? Have you been in a Greek restaurant where they literally have meat on a spit in front of you? Because I have.
So
Yeah.
have I.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kebabs, right?
Yes,
Yes.
multiple times. So, like, if the Mad Greek didn't do that, I can at least assume that a Greek restaurant would, in all of the Greek, and I have Greek family, like
I mean, they got meat in almost everything, don't they?
right, but they at least have it in most of even the high end Greek restaurants that I've gone into, they have meat on a spit when you walk in. So I can't imagine that being his regular pizza place.
You know,
It
I
just doesn't
can't.
make sense to me.
He's way
I,
too ritualistic
Particular.
for that. I'd assume he
Yeah,
prepared all of his
particular.
meals himself, and he took great
Right.
pride in knowing that and pleasure in knowing that he'd done it in a way that it would be okay for him.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I've never been in one of those, to be honest with you. But here, what I'm wondering is, it's 8 miles away, and the restaurant is on the not industrial, but like the shopping side of the area where everybody just wants to mill around and eat and go shopping and things like that. At least that's what that little street says to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if maybe he didn't see them from outside. He saw them and found them, or vice versa. He found them on social media and then realized they worked there,
That's
or
what I want to know, whether it was social media or seeing them in person first.
yeah,
There
which
was the
makes
first encounter.
I thought this is interesting what Kay Bray says. So they said everyone is missing the point. Just because he goes somewhere and gets something doesn't mean you have to eat it. Your whole purpose was to go and see somebody.
well, this
So
is true.
yeah, so he could have even went there and ordered a hamburger. It doesn't mean it's like he could have just gone there to watch them. But I know the Mad Greek is saying that he never went there. So I don't know if they're just saying that right now because of like the gag order, and they don't it needs to not be released, and because I know they said before that he had been there twice and ordered pizza, and an employee said that, but now you guys have heard that now they're saying that he didn't go there, correct?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just like
and
with everything else in this
Yeah.
case. It's
Yeah.
like they say
And
one
Kay
thing
Brace
and then
has a
it's
great
like another thing.
Yep. And
Yeah.
Kay Brace has a great point. We're just from prior reports, right? So it's nothing that's come out recently. Recently, they've denied it. So
Yeah.
A. Charles said something here real quick before I forget it. He said, from a local standpoint, people are wondering why there's such a big thing around the Mad Greek when people in Moscow literally will run into each other everywhere. You run into everybody everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great point.
And
Could have
that's
been a
what I was
coffee shop.
thinking. I mean, if
Yep.
they're down there, if he's down there walking around, just kind of enjoying a little smaller town than Washington, and he very well could have seen them and was like, wow, they're pretty girls, and I would like to have a relationship with them, and then
Yeah,
being able to
could have
hear from
seen them, and
social.
then could have to find them. Could have gone through the hashtags of the town and just found them through that.
Sure.
A lucky
Yep.
find.
Well, and also if you sometimes when you are just in a certain place, people will pop up in that vicinity. Like say you're working somewhere, and one of your coworkers will pop up on your Facebook or of like people you may know. So just because you're near that person, do you know what I'm talking about? If you're
Yeah.
near that
Yes,
Exactly. It's
exactly.
like
Yep.
the locational recommendations.
Exactly.
Yep.
So they may came up on his recommendations if he was in their vicinity.
Sure. Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
Absolutely. You
That
could have
makes
just
it
found
even more
found them through
scary.
recommendations and then gone, oh right, they're
Yeah,
in my
and
town.
if they're putting posts up frequently, so they're going to be more likely to come across him, right? So if
Yeah,
they're
and
doing
they're on lots of social medias
yes,
as well.
exactly. So if they're doing 5 a night or 15 a night, they're more likely to come up on his on his search for
Absolutely,
whatever
because
he's
you
looking
always get
for.
reels, don't you, from like your
Yes.
area, don't you?
Yep.
From the
And
day,
Angie,
highlights of the day and stuff like that. So
Yep.
you
Yeah.
could have found them through that.
Right.
and Angie, I do believe he was probably searching for somebody, you know. Yeah,
Yeah, he was looking out for a.
I mean,
Yep.
if anybody has heard me anytime, which I know all of you have, from the very beginning, I didn't think it was Jack. I didn't think it was any of them. I just felt like this person was
Right.
somebody that was, yeah, you know, and I
A
heard
random,
today on
right,
the
Lady V?
news.
A
Well,
random.
Same here. I
Yeah,
always
well,
thought
Lady
the
V,
same.
we were always on the same kind
we
of
were
mindset.
Valerie.
Yep.
I was so glad when I met Valerie because
Yep.
I'm like, thank God I'm not the only one thinking
Yep.
this. But
Same here.
like my red flags just went up and went up and went up, and then
Yep.
it's just, I mean, like now they're saying that they're wondering too, like I have said before, and if that's the whole reason he went to school, if he went to school to do this and then he's trying to um one up Ted Bundy, you know, by
Right.
getting off, you know, when he couldn't or whatever. And I
Yeah.
thought
Yep.
maybe I was going a little too far with that one, but I just had this feeling. And now they're starting to ask that question on the media too. So, but when you think that this is somebody could be found so easily by, like you said, going someplace and then it's on your recommended list, and how easy does that make it? I mean, if Ted Bundy had had something like this and we still didn't have DNA, can you
Oh,
imagine?
could you? Yeah, could you imagine?
Yeah,
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
it would be his account of victims. I can't even imagine how large it would be.
But now we
No, I
have
Rodney
can't.
Alcala
cameras.
as well, the dating game killer.
Yeah.
He
Well,
took
the dating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh
the
man,
dating.
that guy was crazy.
Yeah, he was creepy, to put
Yeah.
it lightly. Yeah. But now we have everyone has a Ring doorbell camera. People have even their motion detecting lights have cameras. So we have camera capability now we didn't have during Ted Bundy, which I would hope would, if you look at this guy, if he were in the 1970s, he probably wouldn't have been caught. If it
I've
No,
were,
and
had the
see
same.
that.
yeah,
I've asked the
Oh
same
yeah,
question.
yeah,
It's been like, if he was a certain time, do you think he
right.
would have been caught?
Oh,
I
I
don't
think
think so.
no.
yeah.
Neither
If
I
it
do
think
was
I.
if
the
it was in the
60s,
The DNA just wasn't there.
I
Right.
yeah,
don't
if it
even think
wasn't now.
until not until like the 2000s. I mean, probably not
Right.
even in the 90s. He may
Right.
not, or it would have taken a long time.
I agree,
Yeah,
Val. I think it
I
would have taken
agree.
a lot
And
Yep.
longer in the 90s, enough time for him to maybe slip away.
But I agree
right,
with
and I
Lady
think
V. If this guy had his brain power, which I don't think was very strong, but it was strong enough, if he had committed these crimes, God forbid, in even the 90s,
oh yeah.
we would perhaps be talking about, if we were on a chat in the late 90s, early 2000s, we wouldn't have half of the information we have today, just because of cameras and because of social media. And he drove a white Elantra fine, and they got it on the 29th, and the crime happened on the 13th. But if it were 1995 and they were looking for that white Elantra, maybe 4 or 5 weeks later, it would have been recognized. And I think that's why the dad and him got it out of Dodge.
Well, here's the thing too, is that and back in the time around the 80s and 90s, 70s, 80s and 90s, when all this was happening, yeah, I think if this guy was back then, I don't think there'd be any stopping them. And I'm just thankful that we have all of this stuff, because if we didn't, I know this guy wouldn't have stopped. We wouldn't have caught him so quickly.
Yep.
And
Oh, I
things
agree.
are not perfect, but at least we have
They're
these
good
things.
enough. Yep.
But then, as good as that is, we open ourselves up. Okay, just like, okay, let me, for an example, say this, and I'm going to use your chat. Okay, everybody here. Okay, how freely are we to come on panels and do things, and you feel safe and all of that? And I love you, and you do mean it. I mean, you do mean it. I'm not saying we don't mean it. You do. You do. You have affection for these people. You get to know them, but do we really know who I am behind my picture?
Right.
You
Yep.
know,
Yeah,
should we
exactly.
Exactly.
should we be so
Exactly.
trusting?
Nope.
Because somebody could come on here and I could think that person is perfectly innocent and sweet and kind and loving and give out little information here and little information there, and then the next thing you know, they're at my house.
Right.
You know, so
I think it's all about
that's
a degree
scary
of
too.
skepticism, but you can't let people like
Right.
that totally shut you
That's
off.
why
You
in
know?
No, you
America we
can't.
have the Second Amendment.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. I'm thankful that we have this community and everything, and I'm a very trusting person, and I think it would be sad to live your life that way. It would, Jay,
For sure. Yeah.
but when you get right down to think about it, we're not thinking about it being up here now, are we? So the girls, there's no way they were thinking about
Right.
their
And that leads
social
back
There's
media
no way they
showing
could have
but
everything.
done, to be
but
honest.
and Lady V, that leads back to the innocence of college life. You know,
Right.
I had a college life where I went to parties in random houses. I'm sure everyone else did. You know, and you don't think about, you know, leaving your door. I think about leaving my door unlocked now as an adult with, you know, a life, but I didn't think about that then, you know, and that's what's scary for so many people across this world, because everyone allows their children, and they should, to go away to college and to live their college life, because that's been our tradition for hundreds of years in this country and worldwide, and you don't worry about those things.
Right.
And that's
Chad,
what's so
Well, when I
scary.
was younger, I used to go to house parties all the time, and like, I never went to college though. But when I was like 15, right, there's this
Oh,
place, and just
were
after
you
I
did you
left,
look
these
like you were
guys
did you
kicked the
look like you
door
were
in with
21?
machetes and robbed everyone,
Yeah.
you know,
and
here's
I
the
missed
thing
it.
is I oh shoot, I just lost my thought.
It's okay. It'll come back to you in a minute.
Yeah.
It was getting ready to come out my mouth too. Oh my
No,
gosh.
but I was just saying, like, this
I
is
know what
that's
I
the
was going to say.
innocence of this
Let
whole
me
situation that
let me
touches
say it,
so many
Poppy, before I
people.
forget. Let me
Sure, sure. Sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead.
The reason that I was making that reference is because I'm kind of tired of hearing the victims being shamed,
Oh
you
my
know?
gosh. Right.
And
Yep.
whenever all of us, it doesn't matter who we are, unless you have no social media whatsoever, you can't
Yep.
say, well, I would never do that, because
Right.
we unwittingly do it all the time. We
And
don't
Lady
even
V,
know.
that goes back to the innocence of college, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
You just
exactly. And also, it's like you don't
of that
expect to
age.
be like the
Right.
center of something like that. You just don't. It's just things that happen in the movies.
Right.
It doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
It'll never
Yeah.
happen
Yep.
to me, is the mentality. Especially when you're that age as well. You think you're invincible.
Yeah. It's sad. It really is. And it just leads to the fact that no one is safe. Like you're saying, Lady V, no one is safe regardless of how much protection you put upon yourself, whether you're blasting your identity on social media or you're in a college just going to school and minding your own business. You know, it can happen to anyone. And, you know, being aware of that possibility allows you to at least have some protection, you know,
Absolutely.
however small that may be. But
And they thought they were being safe too, which they were, because they were going in pairs. They
right.
were doing her sister Olivia said that she was doing all the things where she would take pictures if she thought that someone was suspicious. So they were doing all
Yep.
the things that you should be doing to keep yourself safe.
They were
So
all really streetwise. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, I would say they were probably had more street sense in common like than Brian did.
More than
But
I did. Right. Yep.
Well,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Brian
Yep.
lacks common sense. It seems it's like he has the ability to destroy his clothes on the one hand, because they never recovered the shoe, did they? Uh, So it's like
No.
he has the ability to do that, but he doesn't have the ability to turn his phone off. He doesn't have the ability to not take his own car, you know.
Right. And I think that leads to his nature of being stunted, right? So that
I
shows that
agree.
that he wasn't necessarily he may have been, educated in the act of criminology or the study of criminology, but he wasn't necessarily with the common times per se.
Okay, for a second, I want to go back to I was on T-Revs whenever that man called in, and I was thinking the same thing everybody else was, that, oh my God, this could be the guy. And the thing that caught me was, he was saying, like 10 people asked him, how would you get away with blah, blah, blah. But it's like, well, they might have asked him because of what he was studying, and I don't know what I'm trying to say about that. I don't think it helped people coming up to him, if they did allegedly ask that or not. I don't think that it helped, because I think that doing all of that in school all day long and then going out and people like, oh, well, I wonder how, because it could happen. And it just kind of fed into his mind even more, that,
Yeah. And his ego, right?
yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's all to me. It feels like it's all about ego with him and exercises of power, but I think he's not been able to exercise that over his own
yeah.
life. Like he's lost. He doesn't have the ability to do and be what he wants to be. So he's exercising that lack of
But
control in other ways.
I do think that I really do believe that that was him that called in. I mean, I'll have to be
Yeah.
proved
Which
wrong on that one,
one?
because
There was a few. Which
creepy.
one? The one
The
to.
one that called into T-Rev.
I
Oh,
don't think he
okay.
would. I don't think he'd be. I don't think he'd be that open
The
about
one
it.
that talked about like the Sigma Chi guys?
Yeah, I think that was him.
I don't think so. I think
I
he'd
was I
write it,
was
but
I was on T-Rev when that happened. I tell you what, we all got chills. I mean, it went on, and we all got chills, and it was just more and more stuff that sounded like it very well could be him. Like the posts and everything that we're reading, like what is that? The
All of his
Roger,
his
Roger
Facebook
thingy,
stuff.
Poppy
Yeah.
Roger deal or whatever. I mean, it was kind of like that. And I almost wonder if he wanted to be caught. I mean, I know that
I
sounds
felt the
crazy,
same.
but I'm not sure he wanted to be caught right now, but I think he wanted to be in the annals of being an SK, and I think he wanted to outdo Bundy by trying, because this guy doesn't say, okay, through his lawyer, he
Right.
says he can't wait to clear his name, or he
Right.
can't wait to be exonerated. He never says, I'm not guilty. I didn't do this.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
never said that I know of.
And Lady V, that gives an air of confidence, right?
I
Exactly.
agree there.
Yeah.
It's his arrogance
Yeah.
speaking. He
And an
thinks he has
air
enough
of,
legal
Yeah.
knowledge to wrangle his way out of
Yeah.
it through
right.
technicality
And
Yep.
and planting doubt.
an air of, well, yeah, this was bound to happen sooner or later kind of attitude. I'm ready for this.
Yeah. I don't know if he would be that dumb. Like, we know that he's not very, like, he's smart. Okay, we'll
He
give
is.
him that. But he can't do a 3-point turn. He can't get around the side of the building, blah, blah, blah. Like, we have all these faults that we find in him. But I don't know if he would set himself up. He can be anonymous by doing like the Papa Rogers thing and putting things on Facebook and stuff. But to call into a show, that gives me a level of gravitas that I don't think that he necessarily would have.
Same here. I felt the same.
Yeah.
I
Because it
don't
takes
think
a
he wants to
certain
do that. I don't think he. I think in
Right.
my opinion, he wouldn't give that to someone. He thinks so highly of himself. He wouldn't just give that away to someone. He would want to be the arbitrator of getting his word out.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Meaning,
I agree.
I've always thought
Yeah.
that he may write a book.
Yeah.
Or attempt to. Yeah. Go ahead, Valerie.
I know you said about not wanting to, or about possibly wanting to get caught. Have you heard about leaving a calling card with killers? Have you heard that term before?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna play this. There's a couple more videos. So this is just a super short one, and then I want to see what you guys think.
Awesome.
And then there's a couple other ones. So let me just get that ready real quick.
That's great.
Here, let me get that. Let me know if you can hear it. Just press 1.
Bryan Kohberger may have left behind a calling card to show he was at the scene of the crime in Moscow, Idaho. According to experts, the brutality of the crime suggests that he possibly has killed before. In a Dr. Phil special on Friday, experts speculated that he purposefully left an empty knife sheath in the room where the students were murdered. Kohberger has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and felony burglary in the gruesome quadruple homicide. A preliminary status hearing has been set for June 26th. University of Idaho murder suspect.
So I've always felt a certain way about that knife sheath.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I don't think that he's that particularly dumb to do that, but I can't, leave it out in the heat of the moment that it could have been an accident, but I find it quite coincidental that it was left there. So I don't really have an opinion either way.
I did consider that leaving the sheath was a calling card, and it may have also been an attempt in his mind, thinking, "Oh, if I leave a Navy SEALs one, maybe they'll think it's a Navy SEAL, and
Right?
throw them off the scent of him, maybe,
Yep.
a poor attempt at manipulation."
I always thought that leaving a calling card was something more like Ted Bundy. Ted
Yep.
Bundy's calling card was he would bite them and even bite things off of their flesh as his calling card. Where he said to the officer in charge, well, basically he said, I left my card, but you're too dumb to find it. So Ellie went back and they studied, and he was actually the first one that they ever used tooth impressions in a trial that was convicted.
Yeah,
And
it's one of the girls, her buttocks, right?
yeah, and he had the nipple off of one, I believe. And trigger warning, everybody. I'm
Trigger
sorry.
warning. Yeah.
But that's the kind of calling card that I think about more than the sheath.
Yeah, you think of a more physical.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm wondering what kind of calling card he left behind, if he did, in other ways.
Sane. I know. I didn't know how else to say it.
You're
Say
being
what?
very, very professional, aren't you?
Oh, well,
Thank you.
well, I mean, this is true crime, and it's like, if you sometimes you just had to say something, right? Especially in a case like this, it's like
Right.
you want to hear it, but you don't want to hear what's going on. I mean, that's what we're here to discuss, right? And I don't mind trigger warnings, but I forget sometimes, because that's why we're all here. So if I forget to say trigger warning, please forgive me, because this is just natural talk for me.
Right. And we don't know what he left, right? So we have a little crumb of the information. So we don't know everything that he left. So perhaps he did leave something that would have been his calling card had he committed, unfortunately, more crimes in the future.
On that question of future, do you think that he would be doing more?
I think if he didn't get caught, that he definitely would.
Yeah.
I don't think,
I
and
think so. I
especially,
think he got a taste for it.
yeah, And speaking of calling card, I still wonder if he maybe did leave something on like blood on the walls, like a symbol or something.
Yeah, that's what I think. Maybe he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something.
And we just don't
something
know
other
about
than
it.
the
Yep.
sheath. The sheath is something. Okay, Jim and I were NorCal. Jim and I were talking on one panel, I believe, and he was saying, you're not going to want to carry around a sharp instrument and not have it in something because you could hurt yourself. And I'm just paraphrasing.
Right. You need the protection. Yeah.
But I can see that. But this goes, the belt goes through the sheath. So it's not like it could fall off. I mean, if it was me, I think I would have put it in the sheath, but kind of held on to it, on the side with my pants and my hand on the handle and pulled it out and put it in that way. That doesn't mean that apparently that's not the way he did it, but that seems more logical to me. Carrying around something other than the implement that you're going to use, it's too risky to me just to be left behind like that.
Yeah, but you have to consider that this guy is not trained, right? So he's read a lot, he's studied a lot, but he hasn't actually done anything in real life.
Yeah,
So
it's all theory, no practical.
Yes,
And when when it came to actually putting it into action, his kind of mental disorganization
aptitude
was evident in that, of how disorganized it was.
Yeah, that's just
Does anybody consider that maybe he had more than one implement to use?
Very possible.
Because you have the other ones that's saying it was a stabbing motion, and you have one that said an edged blade. That's I realize that K-bar knives and stuff have that edge on the other side where it can rip into things. I know what they are, but I wonder if maybe he had a second one. Maybe unfortunately Xana maybe was the one. I don't know who turned him down. I'm wondering if it's Xana, since she got really, sounds like as far as the girls, she was the one that had things happen more than the others. And if so, I mean, I wonder if he had brought something especially for her. Maybe
I
that was his
personally
calling
lean
card.
towards Maddie, but it's anyone's guess ultimately.
Yes. So who do you think, and in chat, I want to know too, who do you think it was of the DMs that he slid into? Since that's the terminology that they're using, I'll say that as well. You could just put a letter. So M, K, X. I don't think it was Ethan. But yeah, who do you think it was?
Mandy T, I do realize that you can cut differently with different knives, and I do realize that there's a serrated part on that knife. I do believe that, but there are people that are now speculating maybe there was a second. The only thing that I'm saying is maybe that was his calling card. Maybe she was maybe not the target. Maybe both of them or all three of them were, but maybe she's the one that ditzed him. Maybe he brought a blade especially for her, is what I'm saying.
The one that was sharper.
Well, no one that can
defend themselves.
rip.
I think we're all going to be surprised at trial that the target was Maddie.
Oh no, well that's what I've been saying since the beginning, that I don't know if it's just because I just felt like maybe I felt most connected to Maddie for some reason.
Yep.
Yeah, but I've always said if there was a target that I felt it was Maddie, even though I know a lot of people felt it was Kaylee. But I've just for some reason always felt that it was Maddie for some reason.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
Then why would Xana get it worse then?
Because she fought back, and I think
annoyed him. Yeah,
where she was.
Well, maybe so. Maybe so. And I don't know. I kind of always felt it wasn't wasn't Kaylee either. I always felt like it was either Xana or Maddie. And I don't know, Xana is just so outgoing and free and just, one of those people that just seemed like she was a free spirit kind of person. She strikes me as the kind of person that might be like overly friendly to everybody because she's just like a free spirit in the world,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
I'm
two
like that.
things that did it for me were one, he did not have to go up to that third floor like Kaylee's dad said. Like that was something. And then the other thing for me was just watching the food truck video. Maddie's personality was different. She was spicy. She just
Yeah.
had that in her. And I could see that really turning someone like the suspect against her personally.
Oh,
Yeah, I
absolutely,
mean,
because he would take that as an insult to his ego, and
Right.
his ego is so fragile that he's willing to,
Yep.
do some horrible things to defend it.
Yep.
here's what I truly think. Okay, I haven't ever really picked a person, but this is what I truly think. I think, however, he saw these girls, he saw them, and then he started stalking. And once he saw there were 3 of them in the house, they were all targets. That's what I think. I don't think there was really one specific one. I
Yeah.
think once he saw all 3 of them together like that, I think they were every one of them, the target.
Yeah, I think he saw like a vulnerability in that, and then
Mhm.
he started to
Yeah, well,
create the fantasy
they
in his
lived in a
mind where to
fishbowl.
them it wasn't those
Yep.
3 girls, it was all the 3 women who had rejected him in his life,
Exactly.
basically.
Or just the 3 women living in a fishbowl.
Yeah.
That too. That's not going to help.
Yeah.
Because then they're taunting him and teasing him in his mind. They're
Yep.
doing it on purpose because they want me to see, but they don't want me to have them.
I get what
Yep.
you mean. I
Yep.
think you're right there.
How's
Yep.
everyone doing?
Very good,
Hello,
thank you.
K-Brace.
We've just been too
Hey.
deep in this conversation to even
Oh,
realize you
I'm
were here.
just sitting back and waiting for my turn because I've been thinking
Hey.
about it, and I don't know. I've been thinking about different views of it, and I kind of keep thinking like scapegoat type deal where I had a family member that was successful, college, and he just couldn't handle it. It was overwhelming that once he got out of college, like what's he gonna do? Like it was so overwhelming, and he thought to himself, well, I just can't do this no more. Like I'm gonna have to show my family that it was worth it, and prove to everybody that this is what I want to do. And he didn't want to do what he was going to school for, and he went and robbed a gas station and got 32 years for it. And literally, it was just out of spite, just something in his head. That gas station, the lady there made him mad one night. And he said, I had to use her. It felt bad, but she was the last person that made me mad. He didn't do nothing bad. He said right away, I've talked to him. He just passed away recently, but he had to use it in some kind of a way. He said, he's just like me, no bad bones in our bodies, polite. He just couldn't handle living outside. And he said, inside, you get a bed, you get food, you don't have to worry about a job, you don't have to worry about people expecting things of you. Like literally, he was just like saying that it's probably easier living in there.
Well, I have a cousin that's the same way, and one of my girlfriend's brother is like that, and now my one, he's from drugs. The other one, my girlfriend's brother, he's a very violent artist, and he no sooner gets out than when they let him out, he's not out more than a month before he's back in because
They
of the
can't
same
handle it.
thing. No, they can't.
They're
They're,
too
they're
regimented. That's
Bethany
the
and
point.
Dylan
It's like you can become so regimented to something, and it becomes part of your identity. It's
So
like
with
people who
the
are in the
one that
military all their
stated
lives. You know what I mean? You take them out of it, and they don't have.
yeah,
They'll break down.
the one that stated it more than anybody else was Charles Manson. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. That's a
Yep.
prime example of that.
I just feel like Brian is, in my view, thinking about all this, I haven't seen him cry. I haven't seen him look confused. It's almost like he knew all these steps, how they were going to play out. He knew how long they were going to take. I almost think like some of this stuff was on purpose because he knows that if it was just a nobody in a house, no college, maybe 40 or even their age, but just some random person, one person or two maybe, but a house full of people where there's four separate families, they're in a college, now the college is involved, all these people. It was like he knew this was the biggest spotlight
Yeah,
and
high
so
profile.
high
Yep.
profile. So the social media stuff was all evidence of their life before that he could show everybody. If it like me, I don't have social media anything because I don't believe in it and it messes with people's minds. So I've never had. I had Facebook about 10 years ago, but that's it. But I don't have nothing else. And literally, it's like their whole life is there
Yeah.
for everybody to see.
See, I have it, but outside of posting things about, okay, guys, don't come at me, but really about the only thing I really post about is like the nails and stuff I do because I'm trying to like get that going, right? So, and it's because it's my passion and my therapy, but I don't really post anything other than that because I've pulled away. Like even on Facebook, I will go on there to say happy birthday or whatever, but if I know about it. But I'll be honest with you, if I don't have to look at Facebook, I don't look at Facebook because it's just too much. I don't like all of that stuff. I don't
I only
like.
use it for work, really. I only use it to promote my
Well,
work.
it's
I don't use it for
ridiculous.
social stuff anymore, really.
I
Yeah.
know because it's ridiculous. It's like somebody taking a picture of their dinner. I don't care what you're
Yeah.
eating. Really?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a story? That's important?
I'm
I
just
mean,
used so much though. That's the thing is, I'm a really high level mechanic, and pretty much anything that you put in front of me, I could figure out and fix and build or whatever. So it turned into friends out of high school. Everybody's calling me, "Hey, you busy? You family? Hey, what you doing?" And then it was like on Facebook, bunch of messages, new friends. I'm like, "Oh wow." Then it's like, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna ask me to hang out. Oh, my car is making this noise. I was wondering if you could listen to it." Now, so I got rid of everything, changed my
exactly.
number.
Well, and the other reason I don't like it is because people have no filter. They think they can say whatever they want to about anybody they want to. And I just don't do that stuff. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be involved in it. So
Yep.
anyway, but I'm not a college student either that these things of what they're having for dinner might be something that they want to remember 20 years from now if Facebook is still around,
I think
at least.
college students are more likely to be posting about what they're drinking rather than what
Yeah,
they're
Where
eating.
they're at, what
yeah, I
time.
know, but you know what I mean? It's like that's just what that generation does. They post everything. You know?
Yeah, it is oversaturated to hell. I mean,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
overpost.
I've
Yep.
Even
always
like
thought
what
that less is more. You know what I mean?
yeah, like what I had for breakfast, everything. But I
Yeah,
wanted to show
overposting.
yeah, I wanted
Exactly.
to show this. Hopefully it is okay. I don't have you guys seen this virtual tour?
I love this one.
I'd love
I
to.
have
Yeah, it's really helpful. This.
I have never seen that, Valerie, and that is so creepy.
It's it's interesting. If anyone can drop, I believe that it's Queen Bee that made this. It's amazing. If anyone can drop her a link, that would be great. I let me see, or otherwise I can go grab it. But let me play this. I think that it should be okay to play it.
I thought this was made by a couple that were the van life or something like that, a van adventures.
I don't know. I see her avatar or her thing in the far left, so that's why I'm not sure.
No, she's showing it. She did not make this.
Oh,
Just
okay.
drop
Well,
the
it's called
link to
Van
the TikTok.
Adventures.
There.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Whoever made this, you're amazing.
Right.
Oh,
It's
Val,
van.
I'm gonna drop down to the chat.
It's
I'm not feeling too great. So
Okay. Feel better, Jay. Thank you for
thank you
coming
so
up.
much, and thanks so
Bye,
much for having
Jay.
me up. It's been
bye, Jay.
amazing. You've all made me
Yeah.
feel a lot
Bye,
better.
Jay. Go watch some Midsummer Murders and have a good night.
Yeah,
I'm
Thank
not
you.
even
I'll
gonna
I'll
go
admit
have
it.
some more
I'll still
edibles.
be watching for a while though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway,
See you
Val,
in the chat. Bye bye.
bye, hun.
Bye bye.
Val, this was my understanding. Is this was because we were trying to figure it out the other
I
night
love
in
it.
Lost Souls. It's either a girl or a lady and a girl, a couple that the name of it I think is Van Adventures, and the reason that I'm saying that is so you can be more correct and not give the wrong person any gratitude, but also because they are not minding that this is being used, because they're trying to use it like if any of you guys want any simulations like this or anything on anything, to give them a holler. And I think they're on TikTok.
Yeah, it shows TikTok on there, in the far right TikTok. If you can see it like by the StreamYard, like the little duck. Okay, but yeah, okay.
Oh,
So
okay,
Van
I
Life
see
did
that.
it. It's yeah. So if we could drop Van Life.
No, it's not Van Life. I think it's Van Adventures.
Oh, okay.
Or Van Life Adventures or something. I don't know the exact name, but I think it
Okay,
had
well,
adventure in it.
Valerie, just play it and we'll see the TikTok and we can
Okay.
someone
All
will
right.
drop it.
All
Yep.
right. Let me get.
There you go.
Mates Bethany and Dylan were sleeping on the first floor. Since then, we've learned Dylan was sleeping here on the second floor, along with Xana and Ethan located here. Kaylee and Madison were located here on the third floor. The dog was located on the third floor and the room by itself. Let's move around and see through the walls into the kitchen, to the back slider, and take a look at the time frames. At 4:04 a.m., the suspect can be seen trying to park his car. At 4:09, approximately 5 minutes later, he enters the house through the back slider. At 4:18, he leaves the house after committing the crimes. At 4:20, he's caught on camera driving away at a high rate of speed. All of this only took 9 minutes. Let's watch what that looks like. The suspect enters through the back sliding door. He pauses at the stairs to look around to make sure no one's up. He then turns and goes upstairs. The first bedroom he stops at and opens the door, he sees no one there. He continues to the next bedroom. Here we know what happens. Downstairs, Dylan is sleeping. The noise from upstairs wakes her up. She thinks it's Kaylee playing with her dog. She gets up and goes to the door and looks out. She sees nothing there. The suspect then continues down the stairs about 3 minutes later. He then heads to Xana's room. Outside, there's a security camera picking up some whimpering, cries, and a thud at 4:17. We've learned that Xana was found on the floor, which might explain the thud. Dylan again hears something and looks outside her door. She sees the suspect. He walks right past her and leaves.
I have something I wanted to show. I know that people have been showing at the house. They keep updating this, which is another thing that someone made, which is super amazing. And I wish I had the capabilities to do this. I believe it's Hux that made it. Okay, hold on. I shared the wrong thing. Let me get it. Okay, one moment. If I can find it again. Don't mind. Okay, let me see. All right, you guys chat while I find. Okay, hold on. I got it. Let me see. Where is it? Okay. So I know that people have already shown this, but can you hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. So it shows also, so they've really updated this a lot to where you can even see it in night vision. It has everything in here. It has the timelines. It has so Hux is the one I believe that made this. And I of course just went out of it. Let me get back to it.
This is pretty cool. I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, so they did but I wanted to show you. So what they did also is you can go into the house and see what it looks like in the dark also. So
Ooh.
yeah, to see what he would have seen during what
Oh, that's creepy.
allegedly, yeah. So allegedly Brian. So this would have been so here's the staircase at night. Here's where the couch is.
Are they
Here's
assuming that every light was off though, Val? Because I thought there was some lights on.
well, here's the good vibes
Yeah,
sign.
it doesn't look like it. Yeah.
So it's very interesting that they made this. They're super creative, this person. They keep
Yeah.
adding stuff to it. So here's the night view. So let's see. I'm gonna try to go
Wow,
through
I
it.
haven't seen this. This is weird. This is
I
like
know.
very accurate.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
so
there's no real why. No reason. I mean, you know why now he didn't see DM really? Because if she would have had her door
so
cracked,
Right.
here's DM's room. So here's the stairs, if you can see that.
Yep.
And then here's her room. So
I
Close
mean,
that
this.
door and it's completely dark.
Well, and if she didn't have any lights on, and who's to say she opened that door that far? If she heard stuff
Right.
and it sounded bad, she might have only like peeked out, like literally peeked out with one eye. You know, I
So
mean,
this is giving us the spatial idea of just the good vibes being on, which would be very likely, right?
yeah. I mean, that's what at that time of night. I mean, but
Yeah.
Xana did just like order the food.
Right.
I want to share all of it. I'll go to, I guess, the beginning. Let me see.
I'm not sure I
Yeah, that
could tell
makes
someone's height and bushy eyebrows in the dark, though.
I know, right? Yeah, that is.
Well, I
well,
do want to say this thing about DM. She's tall. If you
Oh
look at
yeah,
if you look at all the photos with her against all of the other people, she's usually the tallest. So,
yeah.
I think as a tall female, she would know if a male was taller than her, and I think she's probably maybe 5'9", 5'10". So it makes sense to me for her to say he was my height or taller, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but he's, I think, mainly referring to the eyebrows. But okay,
Yeah, but
the
eyebrows deals with height, right?
sure, but the law enforcement, when they first went in there, they left all the lights, and they left all of the lights on, because I kept searching, why do they have these party lights out back that are still on and they leave them on? And I found out that the reason why is because when they left the lights that were already on when they got there, they left them on. So if we want to be correct, we need to go back, not now, but we need to go back and see what lights LE left on to know which lights they left on.
yeah,
I mean, like on the first floor there, I mean, there were party lights hanging out there. And if it's
yeah.
true that they left them on, then there's a whole lot more light than what that's showing.
So here is okay. Did I just go out of it? I don't know what you guys can see. Okay, here is the neighbor's house in the ring camera. There's their house. Here's the ring camera, and as we know, at 417, a security camera, the neighbors picked up a distorted audio of what sounded like voices in a whimper and a loud thud. A dog can also be heard barking, which we assume is Murphy. So it's all the way here from their house, which heard the whimpering. You can see the distance here. So here's this is where it is, right? Oh, and here it shows them looking at the Ring camera.
And by the way, Liza says she has all of those pictures if you need them, Val.
Oh, thank you, Liza. So here, look at how they updated everything on here. It's crazy. They did.
Yeah.
Here's, I mean, this is from News Nation, but it's probably, I don't know if there's music on it. If you want me to play it, there's so much on here.
Wow. That's incredible work.
Yeah, they really put so much work into it.
So can you turn individual lights on and off from there? Do you have control of that? Okay.
Well, just that one part I can. Here, this is where I can, but I don't think, see right here, I could turn the lights off. And then I think it says somewhere where you can put the lights back on.
Wow.
Okay, and then okay, this is cute. It shows that Murphy was sitting here, and it like it shows in each room. Yeah, so this is confirmed as Kaylee's room, and it talks about how it goes in really into depth about here. It says about how Madison and Kaylee were here.
Oh, wow.
The knife sheath was found here.
Wow, that's crazy. They got a crazy amount of information in there, don't they?
There's
That's awesome.
so much information in here. It goes like everything in here. So I'll go through it a little bit.
So is that circle, was that supposed to be where he left the sheath?
Yeah.
Wow.
And what's this? Oh, so here, this is this part. Xana was supposedly found here on the floor, it says. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. So this is one of the detectives that came in there. They said, as I approached the room, I could see a body later identified as Kernodle's laying on the floor. Kernodle was deceased with wounds which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon.
And hers is the only one that says that. Unless they updated it somehow or other and something, but that's the only one that says edged weapon.
Yeah. So oh, and here it says about the shoe print. It is interesting that there was just one shoe print, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that is weird. Why? I mean,
Oh, it even has the video of where the roommates are pretending to be each other in this. Oh, so here, view this location at night. So you can turn off and on in different spots.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, kudos, guys, that made this. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, this is a good video.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there's okay, which room is this one?
Can you go up the stairs with that? Can we see like the lighting? Oh, that's I don't.
Oh, wait,
is that downstairs? Where is that? 2A. Maybe that's is that Dylan's room?
I think she's 2B, but I'm not sure. Let me see. Hold on.
I'm just wondering when it's dark, if he goes to go up to the stairs or the third floor, like what that looks like, because that would be whether he's coming down or going up, like.
Yeah, but I have to go back to the fact that those party lights outside that glass window was on. So there's more light in there than what this is showing.
So here, I mean, I would think he would have had to have been, if it was this dark, you would think he would have had to have been in there before, don't you think?
Yeah.
I think even if you were in there before, it still would have been hard to navigate. Unless you live there, you
Yeah,
know, I
because
mean,
this is a tricky house, like the
yeah.
way
Yeah,
that
but
it's
he's
structured.
not going to go in there blind, right? So he's going to go in there knowing at least the floor plan. He's going to watch them through the windows. He's going to see what is
Yeah, but
through that.
how do you know if somebody didn't move a couch? Or, you know, girls are
Yeah.
always like moving things around. How are you going to know if they didn't move? Or let's say there's like a gym bag left in the middle of the floor, or I mean something. Just, you know, I
Yeah.
know that's probably, but you know what
Unless
I
he went
mean.
in
It's
there the
like
night
something.
before. We don't know that. Could have gone in there the night before.
When they had the party, you mean, the
Yep.
150 person party. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
I
Yep.
think that's very possible.
it is very possible.
Because if he like just put on a hat or something like that, and he
Yeah.
was
Because
Yeah,
definitely
and he's
this
driving around working himself up. He's going to go in regardless if there's a chair in the way, you
Oh,
know? Like he has a
I
plan.
totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that those lights out there to me were like an affront on my senses about what had happened there, and it was driving me crazy. And so I was
Right.
like, why are they leaving these party lights on? Why are they leaving these party lights on? And I found it where they said, because apparently I wasn't the only one, and they said now the party lights on, and I think it might have been Brian Enton that said that the party lights are on because those were on when this happened. So there's more light, and you're right, he was going to go in there no matter what. I
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
And do
But
you
he
think
had
those
more
girls
light.
ever unplug those lights? Probably
No.
not. Yeah. They're
How
probably
many
always
girls
on.
Yeah,
how many
I bet
girls
Yeah.
not.
sleeping alone sleep with every single light off?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I think he definitely cased it out. You know, we know that at least 12 times the police said. I
Oh
think
yeah.
he had a very good idea of what he was going to encounter when he walked in there. And I
Yeah.
think regardless if there was a couch in his way, he had his mind set on it. He drove around for a half an hour before going in there. So he was unfortunately going to do what he did, but I don't think he would have gone in not knowing what he was going to encounter. People wise, I'm not quite sure, but location
Well,
wise, I
too,
think yeah.
even let's say even if he didn't go to the party, you can look that up on Zillow
Right.
and
Exactly.
scope it out on Zillow. So yes, I believe he knew exactly
Yeah.
where he was going into. I've heard mixed things of no, people his age wouldn't have been allowed to go there. Yes, people his age are invited because they might be able to get better, things for them to take and stuff like that. So I never went to
Yeah.
college, so
But
I
you
don't
also have to
know.
keep in mind you're not going to put a couch in front of a doorway, right? So he knows the path.
Right.
And yeah, yeah. So there could be a different table or a couch set up for him if he looks at Zillow. But Lady V, you're right. He's going to look at Zillow and he's going to know how to get through the doors or the
Yeah, at least the
entryways, right?
basics of where
Yep.
most people would likely put their furniture.
Right.
And him being in the studies that he was in, I would imagine that he probably saw patterns, and like all of us would. Well, a couch should go over there and blah blah blah. I mean, because it sounds logical to our brains. And
Mhm.
so the likelihood of that being there and this being here, and you know, yeah, I think he definitely knew, but I am like 99% positive that they said that they left those lights on because they were on
Mhm.
at
Yeah,
the
I
time.
agree. Yep.
And the good times lights, that was on. We know that because we can see it through one of the windows when that next night when LE was there, that was on.
Yep. Right.
Oh wow. Where in California, Austin?
Can you imagine running down the
Oh my
stairs
gosh.
without a knife, let alone with a knife?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm
Oh wow.
surprised.
I was saying.
Do you
What?
think DM saw the knife in his hands?
I'm lost about that because I know, Poppy, you're saying, oh, it's the height thing. Maybe she referenced off that, but do you remember the last person that you walked by? You know, like
Sorry.
that's the whole thing. It's like, to me, if she didn't think it was that important to call the cops right away, why would you go so far detail of looking at
Yeah.
somebody's details
The
if
the
you
only the only thing with the eyebrows is like eyebrows are a big thing right now for people. Like they want them bigger, bushier. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Sculpt it perfect. Yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
feel like for a 20-year-old, it would be something that they would notice, and then she being like a taller woman would notice if she were looking up at those. I don't know. I feel like it sounds so like you're saying like such an abstract, like a weird thing to notice and to recognize, but I just feel with like her age and her like who she is, I feel like that would be something that sounds so vain and
No
just
lashes and brows right now.
yes, it would
Yeah.
yes, exactly. It would be something that someone that age would be able to articulate and describe accurately, in my
Okay,
opinion.
but all right. But we have a person that has dark clothes on, and he had she said he had a mask on. If it was a mask, it could not have been a hospital mask, because if he had a hospital mask and a ball cap on, the cap could have been knocked off. The hospital mask could have been thrown away, or knocked off his face, right? If it was just one of those that pulled up from your neck above your nose, it could have been yanked down, hat gone
Mhm.
off. If he had a hoodie, that could have been thrown back. So to me, the only thing that I'm thinking is he must have had a balaclava on, where he slides it over and all you see is his eyes and his nose. And if so, that would make his eyebrows look more prominent at the same time, because that's all you're seeing are those eyes.
Yeah, but 20-year-olds are obsessed with eyebrows. Just
No, I
saying.
get that, but I'm just saying it would make it even more likely.
Yeah, yeah. But a balaclava hides the nose, right?
Not necessarily.
Liza,
Oh.
I dropped it in chat.
I mean, that
and
would
I
be the most logical thing for me. It's going to be harder to get off, in case whatever. But also, I think too, Valerie, I don't know if you have been on YouTube looking up uh, snow vision, but I have. And it's amazing. You can, like, in less than 5 minutes, some of them can show you exactly like what it is, because I was having trouble visualizing what is this thing, and they have some, I think it's even like 7 minutes or less, that they show you exactly what they're talking about. And I was amazed to see how he is talking about seeing like this. I mean, it might be kind of neat to, if not tonight, maybe next time or something, pull that up and actually take a look at how he sees things, because if you do, you can kind of see why maybe he didn't see her.
Does everybody in chat think that he did not? I know the DM situation is something that's people
Yeah,
do not like to talk
controversial.
about, and that's
Yeah.
why I really stay away from it. So I don't want to go too much into it. But if you think that he did see her, put a 1. If you don't think he saw her, put a 2.
Sorry to
and
bring
I'm
up
not
a
def-
controversial issue. I'm
Visual
gonna
snow.
actually drop down to chat, Valerie. I'm gonna go to bed soon.
Okay, have a good night.
Bye,
Thanks, you
Poppy.
too. Bye.
Bye.
So I don't know if you younger generation have like ever, you've been on a channel and there's just like all of this static on it, and it's very, very much something that I grew up with. We had to stand there with our dads, antenna, the rabbit ears, stand here like this, stand here like that. No, no, don't move, stay right there. That kind of thing. And it would just get really snowy. And so that's one way that visual snow, how they see, and they see it like all the time. And there's different levels of it, from very minor to very bad. And I just went, oh wow, I get it now. I kind of lean towards, I think he saw her and just didn't care. To be honest, he did what he came there to do. And
he was okay, you think, with leaving a witness?
well, yeah, but we're talking about a witness that is going to be traumatized for the rest of her life. So she's really a victim.
Yeah. I mean, I go back and forth. I don't know
I
how.
do too.
It's hard. It's almost
I do
like
too.
I'm not discrediting her. I'll just let Poppy know. I'm not discrediting her. She's seen him, that height, those eyebrows, that's fine. I'm just saying, I just think if she could use that as what she's seen, then if it was so obvious and important enough to know that about somebody, it'd almost be important, like, what's going on here? Because I don't just recognize everybody I walk by unless there's a reason to, in my opinion.
I think it's possible what Psycho said. They said 1, so that means that he did see DM. And my theory is Brian Noburger probably thought DM called the police, Popo, and the point was like, crap, I gotta get out of here, so to speak.
Or he could have just been exhausted. We're talking about how much energy he might just not have. He might just not have had it in him. I mean, I know everybody's going to go, his um, blood was up, or he was, um, his adrenaline was kicked in and everything. Well, yeah, it did. I totally agree with that. But you know how sometimes when you've done what you were going to do, and then all of a sudden you're just like, wow. I mean, the adrenaline's still up because you're still thinking about just what happened. And I get that. But maybe physically, it was just like, I can't do anymore. Because if he did this as many times to each person as what I'm hearing, that's a lot of inflicting things. I hate that we have to talk in so much code anymore. It's ridiculous.
I know, right? Have you guys seen, by the way, this video where the criminologist says they've seen students like Brian Koberger?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Liza, hello,
Hi,
beautiful
Liza.
Liza.
I haven't seen that, and I have to say that.
Okay, I have you seen in chat? If have you seen this video? And Lady V, K Brace, have you seen this video?
I have, yeah.
Oh,
I
thank
don't think so.
Okay. Oh, in chat, I see a yes. If you've seen this video, put 1. If you have not, put it 2. Because I still have like a lot of videos because they pile up since I'm only going like once a week. I have like a week worth of videos.
Well, you should go more often, honey.
I know.
Yes, you should.
I need to find the right times.
We have 24 hours. You can do it whenever you want.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm seeing a lot of 2s, so I'll play the video. Let me know. Okay, now we're gonna go back to put a 1 if you hear it. So, I'm gonna start playing it. So just put a 1 if you can hear it, please.
How significant is it that Brian Kohlberger, the suspect in the Idaho student murders, was a doctoral student in criminology? Maybe more than we thought. One study conducted by Matthew Robinson at Appalachian State University reveals that criminologists can themselves be what they study, criminals. Robinson sent out anonymous surveys to 522 criminologists, asking them whether they themselves had ever committed a crime. And the results were jarring. Many of them said yes. The most common confessions involved theft and DUI, but it didn't end there. 25 of them admitted that they committed battery. 22 said they were guilty of burglary. 3 admitted to rape, and it wasn't just in their distant past either. Many of those offenses had been committed the previous year. The survey did not ask about murder, but the question remains, does the study of criminology encourage people to commit crimes, or does it attract people who are inclined to be criminals anyway, or none of the above? I am joined by Casey Jordan, a criminologist, and she is not a criminal. She's also an investigative profiler and a behavioral analyst. So you're perfect. First of all, what's your reaction to the survey results?
Well, I dug this survey up. It's actually from 1998. And I contacted Matthew Robinson to see if he had done it again. But, we had a good chat about it online because as far as I know, it's the only survey of criminologists where they have been asked to self-report their own crimes. And back in 1998, a lot of the crimes that they were confessing to were things like stealing software, it's a little bit out of date today, or unfortunately sleeping with students, or, making up data for their research results. But when asked about those index crimes from the Uniform Crime Report, there was self-report. And I do believe the survey, which was a mail survey back in the day, was administered properly to get veracity, to get truthfulness. And really what we ended up finding is not that criminologists are more criminal than anybody, but they are pretty much on par with the average Joe. It's not that they are more moral or that better people are attracted to criminology. I think we're just like everybody else.
That freaks me out because I think I know what your answer is going to be. In your bio, I didn't mention that you're also Professor Casey Jordan and that you have taught at many schools, including Queens College, St. Joseph's College, John Jay, Western Connecticut State. And you have this thing you do on the first day of class. You hand out a questionnaire asking these kinds of questions. So what kind of results have you been getting when you ask anonymously for your classes of criminology students to tell you if they've committed crimes?
I'm glad that we can clarify what I do because it is not a study. What I do is try to show students the very outset of class. I don't know them. I don't know their handwriting. We're trying to demonstrate the dark figure of crime, which is the amount of crime that happens that doesn't come into the official data, the Uniform Crime Report that's put out by the FBI. Is it reported to the police? Sometimes people know, sometimes they don't. But I ask students, and I spend a lot of time doing this, and I've done it many, 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 many times. So, I know the method that works best to get honest answers, and I check them for veracity. And if I think they're lying or they're just making something up, I don't read it. And it's voluntary. They can just turn in a blank piece of paper if they don't want to participate. But I've done this for 35 years, more than 6,000 students in my Intro to Criminology class, and we have had every crime under the sun, including a lot that you would expect students to be committing, a lot of DUIs, a lot of statutory rape, which is always a little disturbing, but plenty of violent crime too, aggravated assault like barroom fights. And actually, over 35 years, 4 students have self-reported that they've committed homicide, murder. One said it was in self-defense, but yeah.
So, okay, you said this was anonymous. You can't
Yeah.
do anything about it, right? Because you don't have names. You can't call the police and say, I don't know if you have this one on record here, but I got a live one.
Apart from that, I would never do that because it's an anonymous survey and it's confidential. But the point is, when they write it, they're almost always saying, listen, when I was a teenager, I was in a gang, or, somebody jumped me on the street, or I did this in revenge for somebody who killed my sister. They will give you details which make me think it is 100% true and accurate. And in no case were they ever arrested. I'm sure, of course, the crime would be reported, but the point is they got away with it. They almost always add a postscript, though, that says that was then, this is now. I am here studying criminal justice because I want to get my life in order, because that's not the person I want to be. I'm far more concerned about those who admit to things like hate crime, beating up people, for being a color in their wrong neighborhood. And even, one that I write about in a Slate article where somebody admitted that he beat up a sex worker and they gang raped her, and he was completely unapologetic because he said she ripped him off. So we get a lot of qualitative data by doing exercises like this.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in your classroom to see this, and I'd be peeking over your shoulder at those responses. Casey Jordan, thanks for coming in. Thanks for sharing.
Wow.
So, yeah, what did you guys think of that? I thought that was a super interesting video about how a lot of them, and I can't believe it must have been anonymous about admitting that they were criminals. I can't imagine that they put their name.
Yeah, but she has all their test scores and paperwork. You can match people's writings real easy.
And fingerprint.
Yeah.
Well,
it was
the thing.
anonymous. She said it was, but
Yeah,
I'm not a
she
big
said it
fan of surveys. But I'm just wondering if you do the same thing with medical students, if you do the same thing with,
Right.
put it against medical students, put it against journalists, give me those numbers.
Well, it doesn't, I mean, I'm sure you would get some of the same numbers, but it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, we had Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy, he wanted to be a criminal lawyer. So you have to study criminology in that, I'm assuming. We had BTK. BTK took criminal courses.
Yes.
It's only, okay, here's in my way of thinking. To me, it's only logical that if you want to be that type of person and you're interested in that type of thing, that you would want to educate yourself as well as you could to get by with it, right? So I don't find it at all strange that they took some of these courses because they're not one to be caught, at least not right away. I mean, I believe BTK did in the end want to get caught because I believe he wanted people to know who he was. But at the beginning, he wouldn't want to be caught. So I totally agreed with it.
I'm confused though. It's almost like I'm not confused. It's just I don't know, like taken away that literally in that area where she was teaching at that time, that one teacher and her so many times doing it, a few of
It was
them.
online.
But I mean, a few wherever they're from and whatever careers they went on to do, it's people that are higher up now that are higher up than us that we couldn't do nothing to them, but they, police officers, detectives, or even lawyers, or who knows what they went to be, but they did all this bad stuff. It's like,
I
man.
think the thing of it is, K-Brace, is there are bad people in whatever field. I mean, even in the medical field that is there to help people. It doesn't matter what career or what you do in life. It doesn't matter because there are going to be bad people just because they're bad people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Val?
definitely. You hear about the people in the medical field where they are like the Dr. Death, I think that's the name, or Dr. Kevorkian, where he
Well,
was,
yeah.
yeah.
And how
So,
many nurses? I mean, Lord, I mean, Angel of Death and everything. I mean, yeah, there's just bad people, period. Or something, and they go in to maybe do something good to try to help people, and then maybe something psychologically or something in their life causes them to become jaded or not think straight or just not give a rip anymore. And they're like, fine, my life is crap. I'm just going to do this, or like, Kevorkian's a little different though. I mean, that's what he did.
yeah.
I just don't see how there's not a connection or a common recurrence or a way to right now catch this early on or find a certain thing in someone's brain or something like that. And it goes back to my mom passed away of cancer at a young age. I was 9, and there's not a cure, but then some people think there is, and they don't want it. We can go to another planets in our solar system, but we can't figure out what these people have in common and how to help them.
That's very true. Val, are you talking on mute, hon? Or
Oh
are you
no, I
listening
was
to
just
something?
pulling up another article.
Oh, okay.
So
I was
yeah.
like,
No, I was
somebody's
pulling up
got to answer him, man. I guess it'll be me.
No, I was pulling up another article. So this one, and then I have a couple other videos.
Oh, okay.
So it says Brian Koberger most likely killed people before the 4 Idaho students and may have left. Again, this is about the calling card to claim murders. University of Idaho murder suspect Brian Koberger may have left a calling card and most likely had killed before, according to experts. In a Dr. Phil special on Friday, experts speculated that Koberger left behind the calling for. That's the knife sheath that they were talking about. So that was the video that we watched. And then about how he deliberately possibly left the knife sheath. It said, I think
So they're thinking that the knife sheath, maybe left a knife sheath before, and then that is his calling card. So he left it again.
I'm not sure. And they're saying that I think they'll find the knife. I think the knife could potentially be found because, like the car and these things, I think that's part of his operational tools. It's no different than a go bag for me, former FBI Special Agent Jonathan Gilliam theorized. Trial lawyer Mercedes Collin agreed that they would eventually recover the knife before speculating that the sheath might be deliberately placed at the crime site. It could be. I mean, it's almost as if we've seen this with other killers. It's their calling card, especially if you think you're smarter than everyone else. And he certainly does. He had gloves.
Oh, I just had a thought.
What?
So maybe, okay, they're assuming. I just get weird thoughts. I'm sorry if you guys come at me. That's okay. I understand. Okay, so what if they're thinking like that? What if it was a knife like a K-bar, but it wasn't a K-bar, and he left that sheath there to mislead in the type of weapon that he was using?
Well, they would be able to tell by the wounds, right? Are they because do you think they're
Yes,
going by the wounds or they're going by the sheath?
they will be able, they need to match the form of the wounds
to the right.
to the print that sheet will have, because it's the material, if it's the real ones, if it's not even if it's plastic, well, those will have the imprint of the knife.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I mean is maybe it was a knife that had the same length and things like that. That was very similar, but maybe had more of a edge to it on one side or something that could be used for both the edge knife and the stabbing part. And he left that there to kind of put them off thinking that it was a K-bar. I mean, I understand it has to fit to the autopsy. I understand all that. I'm just wondering if it's possible that maybe it was very much like a K-bar, but enough, like I said, that maybe had an edge side to it that he could only use one knife instead of doing two. Because edged, it doesn't say serrated. It doesn't say where. I think, okay, what I'm thinking is it one side, and I could be wrong. Maybe I've got my knives mixed up. I don't know. But it seems like one side is sharp and the other side has these teeth on it. And the teeth, that would be more for ripping than, oh God, I can't say the word.
You want me to
SLICING.
pull up a picture of a K-bar knife? Would that help?
Yeah, it might. I mean, it's just a thought. I mean, because they said, it's a calling card, and I'm thinking, well, if it's a calling card, he would need more than one if he left one at another place. And maybe that's, I don't know. I just get these weird thoughts.
But yeah, I Misfit said that they don't think that he left it on purpose. He thinks it was an accident. I think
Yeah,
it
I
was
do
an
too.
accident too.
So why
And I
are they
think,
saying?
oh, that's just this person's opinion about a calling card. But I think that he may have a calling card, but I don't think it was the knife sheath. I'm just
Okay.
showing like this video.
I was just thinking if it
I
was a
mean,
K-bar with the little teeth things on there, it's not really serrated. It just has these teeth, and I would think that would be more for, like, if you have a deer, and you're trying to open it, that's more for tearing and ripping than it is for slicing.
yeah.
Which I'm not explaining myself very well, because the sharp part's going to do that. I'm just trying to figure out why they used the word edged on her. That's all. That
No,
just
it
bugs
it
me.
we'll probably learn that more in the trial, I'm sure. I'll just finish this one part. So it says about serial killer, or sorry, SK.
Yeah, I'm
Gilliam.
sorry, honey. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, not at all. I don't like dead air like either, so talk as much as you like. uh, Gilliam claimed he thought that the murder suspect may have committed the crime more than once and in a similar way. I think he's killed before, most likely, Gilliam said. Not 4 people, but I think he's probably stalked and potentially killed females before. Colvin also agreed. If he's the killer, the viciousness, the brutality, and the butchering of these 4 individuals, I can't imagine it's his first time, if he is indeed the killer. So that's just going on about how they don't think that this would be his first crime, like his first killing. I mean, so I don't know. I think that he's definitely done something in the past. I don't know if it's been killing. I definitely believe he's done stalking to not
Yeah,
just,
I
yeah.
wouldn't be surprised, but El Guapo and Detective Juan each said something that made me think, which I'm not, guys, I have my computers on the other side of my desk and my other phone that I use for communicating with you guys in chat. I'm not on either one of them. So if I'm not answering you, please know that I've got books everywhere here. So I can't get to it as easily. But I do like to see how you respond when I say something. El Guapo said something that was very interesting, and is what I meant more than anything else, is that those little bars that come up, those are meant for, like, if you need to get through a fence, you can grab it and rip it up. It bites into it. They catch it, right? So where a straight edge would, like, slide off of the fence, because we're talking about a military knife, so it's going to slide off the fence. But if you need to go through a fence and then you use the other side of the knife where it has those teeth on it, then it's going to catch the fence. You'll be able to pull it up and rip it off, or rip it in two. I couldn't, but a
I know
nice
what you're
strong man.
saying now.
And then Detective Juan said that now it could be the same thing, because if you're slicing and you're stabbing, that's this. It could be the same knife. I'm just thinking, if you use the same knife for that, I realize it's an edged weapon, but it's like, wouldn't that leave the signs of those teeth on the other ones too? Because it's going in deeply. Trigger warning, sorry.
I don't think they go all the way down the knife, Lady. I think there's just a little bit of
Yeah,
serration.
it's like at
So
the
if you went
top.
in a little bit, it'd be different from going all the way in.
Because I've seen this knife here, and I've also seen one where on the top it has those teeth, and I don't know
Yeah,
which
the
one is.
teeth ones. I have an old military knife, and it was what I got told by the old guy that I got it from is it's for like cutting wood, like you're stranded out in the middle of nowhere and you need a campfire, or you use it to like cut wood or like cut your pants to make
Oh,
like
those things are like. I watched this show the other night, and this guy was like testing the destructiveness of one of those things, and I think his though had the teeth on the top of them. I'm like, okay, if you're a military person, wouldn't it make more sense that it would have teeth on top, like what you're saying? Like if they're out there and they need to, do something different besides cutting.
I think it varies on generation too. Like it's kind of like a car, how back in the day they're big boats, now they're little plastic, you know, boxes. It's like I know they
That's
stayed the
true.
same for a long time, but like an old marine knife is probably the same strength, I would say. But that's the thing, is we don't know if it was even a marine knife in that sheath yet. Like we
No,
don't even
but
know.
no, but they speculate. Well, it would have to be something pretty close to the same shape to get it in the sheath. But if they're speculating that it was allegedly his grandfather's, we're not talking about a modern day K-bar. We're talking about an old World War II kind of K-bar knife, where they would need it for fences, where they would need it to be able to cut wood, to be able to do whatever. So I think that's where
No
my
one's sure yet,
confusion is
really. That's the
coming
bad
in.
part.
Yeah, I think that's where my confusion is coming in, because that's just what stuck in my head when they said something about allegedly about the grandfather. That's what came to my mind, because my dad had one that was very much like it. And
He could add a kitchen knife in there to put it in the sheath just to take with him. Like
well,
we
sure.
really don't know.
We
I'm
don't.
so sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to let A. Charles know that at first I saw you and now it says device is not connected. So I don't know. Can you try going out? Okay, thank you. Yeah, for some reason it wasn't working. So if you could try, coming back in again. I'm sorry about that. And thank you again, Misfit. And El Guapo, I'll definitely check that out. Sorry, you guys, to interrupt. I just wanted to say those few things.
Oh no, honey, it's your channel. You interrupt anytime you want. I'm just thinking it's more of an all-purpose type of knife. One that you can survive without, if you get caught out in the woods or in the forest, or in the forest, or whatever.
I have one of see, that's what I was talking on Brit's channel. I also have a knife that I bought at an army surplus store that looks like my old military knife, but it's in a green sheath. We talked about this too, Lady V, about different sheaths and stuff, and it has a compass at the end of the handle. You can unscrew it. There's fishing string in there.
Yeah,
There's a hook.
my
There's
husband
all
has several of those.
yeah, and that is really strong to the point where I hammered it into a log and used it as a step. So that's what I mean. Just because the sheath says something, we
Well, that's
don't.
what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly what I'm
I
saying.
hope you guys can hear me. I tried to fix my mic. My hobby has like 4 with a sheet, and if you put the wrong knife in the wrong sheet, you feel it. You know that it's not the right one, because they're he have those things for like what, 20 years?
It's like
Then
almost imprinted on the
yes,
inside.
it's like if the sheet is the wrong one, you can feel it. I don't do anything with those things, but I have touched them and etc. And I think that yes, he could just. What if he did that? I mean, he was so cold
He didn't
blooded.
care.
Hey, Charles, where'd you go? Sorry, Liza.
Oh, he left. And I love him. Anyway, he was so cold doing this that I do, and it's difficult for my small mind to think that somebody was this. I'm using the word successful between parentheses, but
Yeah, I know
somebody was able to be that his first time with so little left behind.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree with the article.
But that's what he studied for. I mean, he very well could have applied everything that he knew when he was in there, and the rest of it was just common sense that he couldn't grasp.
Yes, but having that cold-blooded, I mean, I'm sure. Oops. Okay.
I can't imagine it either.
Yes. I can read the book. I can go to the school for it. I probably can do the work, but it's like I've read a book, it's
You guys, Liza,
Manhunter.
You guys, Liza knows she's having problems with her mic. She's trying to find one that doesn't do it, but every time she does, it's doing the same thing. So
I'm gonna go down and then up to see if it gets
Okay.
better. Sorry.
You got to get the mic that I sent you, Liza.
I have an iPad, then it doesn't. Okay.
All right. Hey, Charles. Hello. Welcome.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Greetings from Pullman tonight.
hello, Charles.
It's cold. How you doing?
Can I just call you Charles?
Yeah, whatever you want to call me. That's fine.
Or A?
Whatever you
Hey,
want to
A.
call me. So I
Then
came
I
back
feel like
up to
I'm from
Pullman.
Canada. Hey, what you say?
What part of Canada? Oh, you're not. You are for part of Canada. You're not.
No, I'm not from Canada. I'm just saying if I say
Oh,
A,
okay.
it
Okay.
sounds like I'm from Canada. From like A.
Yeah, well, they're close neighbors. We love them up there. We love them.
So what
No,
wonderful things do you have for us tonight?
no, it's nothing bad. I just think I got a link between the two. That I kind of heard. I'm not going to say from where. I don't know if you can. I don't want to be demanding, but Valerie, can you pull up Google Maps or is that too much? If not, I can explain it.
It's too much. How
Is
dare you
it?
ask me
That's
that?
fine.
I'm just kidding.
For-
Of course.
That's
Yes.
okay. I don't know how to look at chat right now. I'm just looking at the screen. So
No, yeah, let me get it. What would you like me to pull up on Google Maps?
yeah. So basically, if you pull up Moscow on Google, pull it up on Google Maps for me real quick. I'm going to give you a little tour.
We do have the map guy in the chat too.
El Guapo's wanting to know if you want him.
Yeah, that's the back road stuff that everybody seems to be going down to Lewiston and all that stuff, which is cool. All right, so if you zoom into, let's see, if you zoom into Moscow or put it into map or where you could look at everything terrain, I guess.
Let me see.
I'm
I
sorry,
think you just
Shirley.
click
It's
that little,
because I
Click what? Here?
yep, that little terrain button in the left there, right there. Yeah. Click on that and then zoom in. And then what you're going to look for is the Kibbe Dome. It's going to be,
I see it.
okay. So no, just zoom in the town, please. Yeah. Zoom in more. Keep on going. Try to get in this, I don't know. Anyways, okay, cool. So if you go to the right, zoom out a little bit. Okay, so if you go to the right, there should be Renfrew Hall and the Aquatic Center. So you're going to go past the football field, the track to the right.
Oh no. Hold on.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
I'm being really demanding right now.
How dare you do this? I'm just
I
kidding.
know. I'm a jerk.
All right.
So if you go past the football field, yeah, and then you should see the Aquatic Center. I used to work at the hall right above there, but if you go straight across from the Aquatic Center, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. Yes, and then go down a little bit. Okay, keep on going to the right. Maybe just zoom out just a little bit. That'll probably help. Okay, start scrolling down. Okay, go over to the right and scroll down. You'll see a larger building. It's the administrative building. Okay.
Oh, scroll down.
Right. I believe that's it. I can't see it. I think. Keep on scrolling down a little bit more. It doesn't hurt them. All right. Actually, find the girl's house.
Okay.
Find that one. It's going to be straight down. Let me
Oh,
go in.
I was.
Let me go. I'm on my cell phone, so that's why. Hold tight. All right. So that's the girl's house. Now, Kaylee's area study was in general study, which is at the School of Social Sciences. It was located in the main administrative building. So if you go straight due north of that house, and you keep on going to the north,
Hold on.
you're going to run into a large building.
Am I going the right way? Oh no, what did I do? Hold on.
Okay, no, you're fine. Okay, so, okay, keep on going to the north. You're going to go past the Sigma Chi, and then you're going to run into a courtyard or a little land, and then you're going to run into the closest building to the house from the university, and that's going to be the administrative building.
Am I going? I feel like I'm not going the right way.
No, you're going right. Keep on going up. Keep on going up. Okay, right there's the parking lot. That building right there. Okay.
Okay.
The reason why that's important is that's where Kaylee did her general studies program. Okay.
Okay, the University of Idaho Administration building.
Right there in walking distance. Now, this is what I kind of heard I did here, but that is also the School of Criminal Justice is located in that building.
Oh, interesting.
Huh.
Okay. And the reason why I say that's kind of interesting in this aspect is I know that a lot of schools go back and forth introducing themselves. I work here, I'm over there studying and networking, and
Especially 8 miles apart.
Yeah, but I know that when I used to work at Renfrew Hall, which is up to the north, we had a lot of people from WSU come over and vice versa. So what I'm trying to say is I believe he happened to be in that building at some point in time, checking it out. And then she went to school in that building. And if you look how close it is, I'm guaranteeing that she had to walk, especially in Moscow, September, when it's still kind of nice out.
Who
It's
was
only
it
a hot.
that we're talking about? I'm sorry, I was doing something else. Which one?
What's that?
Which girl did you say? I'm sorry, I was.
Kaylee went. That's where her
Kaylee,
area study is, in that building right there, general studies. That's where she went to school. So, and the criminal justice school is in that building right there. So I'm guessing the odds of him being in that building or going to that building, being that he's probably networking, trying to know everybody in the area, because that's just what he did, is probably very, very high that he was in that building, from my understanding.
Yeah, I could. That makes complete sense. And then he definitely would have crossed paths with her, or he would have seen her for sure.
And nobody's talking about that on the national level. You know what I mean?
That would be something that would put her back into the spotlight, which I kind of get the feeling her Dad kind of wonders about that too. I mean, yeah. Wow.
And then if you zoom out and see how close that is in proximity to that house, I mean, literally that's straight across the way.
Oh my
I
goodness.
have El Guapo. I ended up adding El Guapos on there. Should I take
Yeah.
that off?
I mean, whatever. Yeah, whatever works. I was just showing you how close in reality. I mean, this guy, and I don't even want to call him a guy, this monster.
Was it?
So it's the main administrative building. So if you go to where their house was and go straight up, the building's right there. You go past Sigma Chi and then you go straight up and it's right there.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I was on a delay.
It's in walking distance. So
That is amazing.
From my understanding, this guy was networking with everybody, right? He wanted to intern. He wanted to get his name out there. You don't think the odds of him going into that building and saying, hi, I work over at WSU, or if they have a co-op program, he didn't teach there, but networking is probably very high.
Oh yeah.
And I know.
Go on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just saying as a PhD student, just understanding what's available. And he wanted to work in a region. That was his big thing. He wanted to work in a region, a smaller region, to help solve crimes, quote unquote. But the odds of him going to that building are very, very high. Not to say he can't see him in town, but I'm kind of guessing in proximity to that house. Maybe he saw her, maybe he introduced himself, maybe he followed her home from school one day. That's what I kind of heard, and that's what I'm kind of getting. I started looking into it too. I was like, yeah, that's kind of.
Wow.
And nobody's talking about that, right? They don't put the link together.
You know,
Thank
you
I don't know.
always come
that
up
up.
you always come up with some really good ideas.
That's just food for thought, kind of knowing the area, you know. And it's
Well,
like I know everybody's stuck on the mad Greek and this, but literally, it's just when you go into Moscow, you run into people everywhere. Literally, you know, you get sick of seeing the same people. It's a small town, you know, and
Right.
especially with Mormonites going over to Target and they have the mall over there and
Yeah, I saw
everything.
you
But
earlier saying you run into people at Target all the time.
oh, it's everywhere. But I'm kind of guessing the proximity to the house, knowing who they are, the odds of him going in that building and maybe catching them walking or following them, you know, considering it's that close, it seems to be pretty and that's what somebody else had told me. Oh,
And
and
it's just
TAs
like,
make
you know, something
$2,700 a month, by the way.
Who?
I talked to a TAW. They make $2,700 a month.
Teacher assistants.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, it could have been just like something that caught his eye. I mean, of course, girls and guys both have like, oh, that caught my eye, and you know, but that stands out from the rest of them. You know, could be like, boy, and then he'd really know how to. Then he'd
Charles,
really
can I
know
ask you a
how
question?
to kind of get him.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get your thoughts, since you say are you from the area? Or are you currently in the area?
I don't want to dox myself too much.
Oh, my bad. No.
But
Yeah,
no.
gotcha.
Like, listen, I used to run I'll say this much. I used to run the ROTC programs, Det 905 at both WSU and University of Idaho. My brother still works there. I lived there for a number of years. I live there part-time during the year because I work from home, and I also have a residence down in Arizona. So I go back and forth. Yeah.
So you could easily say, though, you're very familiar with the area.
I know it like the back of my hand. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, then I would love to ask you a few questions. If that's okay, Valerie. I don't want to hijack.
Of
Valerie
course. No,
with it.
yeah. Ask as long as.
And I don't want to hijack the stream. Somebody was talking to me about this, and I know it's not all good information because you hear so many rabbit holes, but
no, it's great.
It
love
makes
this.
perfect sense with his connection with the criminal justice. And obviously he was talking to everybody about networking, and yeah, of course he's going to go over that.
And one of my associates, I guess you could say, Allie Cattell, she's actually she was chatting with me earlier about the connection with the Pullman program that he was working with, and there was a lot of networking through that police. I guess. So there's a lot that my friend Ale is digging in on that aspect. But I had a different question regarding his being spotted in this area over here in the Indian Hills. Let me go back to, so now I'm facing north again, just to help with the context. This right here, this little neighborhood before he went to their house that night. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts whenever you hear that he, because this is from the east, coming in from the east? Do you have any thoughts on why, coming in from here, first being spotted there with this? At this time, his cell phone is off, so he's only spotted on a camera.
Yeah.
And then again, he's spotted on a camera. I guess he goes up here this road and then to here, and he's
Are you
spotted
talking
there.
about yeah, I went out back out. So the way he left
I'm sorry,
Pullman,
Charles. Hang on just a
yeah.
second. Valerie, she said she's the roses. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure it wasn't someone impersonating her or
Yeah.
anything. Okay.
And while I have you guys,
know.
I am exhausted. I'm going to have to bow out and get some sleep because I have a lot of cramming to do tomorrow. So I love everybody.
Love
and
you, Lady V.
Love you. Have
I
a
will
good
see
night.
you as soon as I can. I
Thank
Get
miss
you
some
you
good
guys
for being
sleep.
up.
on here.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Lady V. It was so great talking to you again.
Yeah, I adore you. You're just an absolute sweetheart.
Thank you. And
Everybody
I'm
be
so
nice
proud
to
of
Val.
you. I'm proud of you with your nail
Absolutely.
program.
Oh, thank you, honey. All right, babe. Bye-bye, everybody.
Good night, Lady V.
Bye.
Good night, Lady.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
if you want to, I know that I've seen your map work on here, but yeah, you do a very good job about the area. But if you want to run your map, and I can kind of give you an oversight of whatever you want.
Well, I just had questions on just your opinion, since you know the area so so well. I mean, do you put yourself in the mind of a killer or alleged? Why? I mean, why do you think? I mean, did you have any thoughts on him being first spotted here at all, or do you just
Hold
just
tight.
curious?
So back up again. So that's going to be, where are we over here? Palouse. Okay. So you're kind of going sideways. Okay. Let me see.
So I
Back
should
up.
be facing due north. Here, let me get rid
Okay.
of
So
some
you're
of the.
facing due north. What do we got over there? Okay. So we got the Palouse Mall. Hold on.
Oh, you want me to put those places back up?
Yeah. Let me just see. I can't.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll
All right.
let it sit here. I'll put the roads on too.
Oh, okay. I see where you're at now. Okay, I got you.
We good?
So, yeah, you're good. I wasn't sure what I was looking at first. So we've got, and I don't know too much about the whole trail thing. I've seen you do it a few times, but his whole exact map. So he came back in from that area, or he came from the north, right? Initially.
No, he came in from he came from Pullman, which is on the west, but he's first spotted over here on the east side of town from them.
Okay. Why would he come that way? I don't know.
That's why I'm asking. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't make any sense. But didn't he go over to Pullman real quick? Go. Let me. Do they have the cameras where he started in Pullman?
No, well, I have them. I put them on.
Okay.
He's seen right over
Because he
here.
took the back way, right?
Well, we don't know. He's last seen over here. He's last seen right around here. Okay, so this.
Okay, so that's my old office too, right up there by that round building, Krugel Hall. I used to work right. Go up. I used to work right there, right in that building by the round building, Rotundra. That next one to the left. I used to work in there, right there. No, over to the left. Yeah, I used to work in that. But so he came up Stadium Drive, and the reason why he took Stadium Drive is because at nighttime that's a very quiet street. It's not very busy. It's hilly and unless it's on a game day or a football day. The other artillery that people usually take is roundabout here going to Grand and through, but that's where all the police are, and the police stations head down that way. So there's a reason why he took Stadium Avenue and went back that way to go back to his house.
Yeah. Well, so
But
yeah,
it
it
was
looks like
not
he went.
game day.
No.
It was well,
Oh,
it
was it?
was a game day evening. That the game was in the afternoon. They played Arizona State, I believe, that day. The game would have been over. It was Father's Weekend, so there would have been a lot of crowds, but all the crowds are going to be south of this or to the. They're going to be on the other side of the stadium over in Greek Hill. They're going to be up in this. I can't point, but they're going to be up in the area. Go see where the football stadium is, Martin Stadium. Okay. Right to the left. There's a big football stadium right there in the center. Okay. So that's Martin Stadium. And then if you go over to the left and then up, that's Greek area right up there. So go
By the
up
soccer
and then
field?
yeah. So where the soccer field is, that's Greek Row. So that's Greek area up in that area right there.
Cougar Way.
Cougar Way, yeah, that's where the Cougs at, and everybody's like, "Oh, his sister went to the." Everybody goes to the Cougs, so that's irrelevant. I heard somebody saying that. It's linked because he went there. So Pullman's super hilly, right? So this is on top of the hill, and it kind of crusts down to Grand, and where he lives, if you keep on going straight up,
Yeah, I got him. He's right here.
where he's at, I think mine's behind. Okay, so he lives up there. That's where my brother used to live. And then I live up the hill to the left on that. I'm not gonna dox myself too much, but if you go Grand up that hill where he departed, so he lives up in there, but if you go over here, I live right up in this area, right up in here. To the left. Yeah, right up in here.
Kind of by Greyhound Way and all that.
Yeah, going up the hill past Dismore's. Yep. So not too far. But he took the back way out, didn't he?
Well, whenever the timeline of like that we have on him is he is last seen on this camera here, which is by your office, your old office or your office, and I'm guessing there is. It looks like there's cameras here on this intersection.
Stadium
He's last
way,
seen
yeah.
going this way, I believe, leaving out, and then he isn't seen. But his phone's already turned off at this point. And then he isn't seen again until at 3:26 over here, going this way.
So he didn't go through the major artillery. He went to the south and came up.
We don't know. It looks like I would guess so because this is on the south side of town. I'm guessing he took the same path he took when he left. That would be this this thing over here.
Yeah, nobody does that.
I'm guessing he did that when he came in. I mean, I guess he could have came in and then just turned here on Palouse.
Yeah, but you don't do that.
But I think he's doing it to he's not doing it because it's the fastest route. He's doing it because he's being super sneaky is what he thinks.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's definitely shady, and then especially going down to Lewiston, don't go down
the same distance. I mean, it's about the same time because 253 so it takes him about 20 to 30 minutes to do this when he goes home. So and it's about the same time to go there. So I'm guessing that's probably what he did. And then he probably
but Lewiston's got a horrible grade. Like if you ever get a chance,
he doesn't go to Lewiston. He goes to Union.
Yeah, but
Way.
he ended up going down to Clarkston or Lewiston at some point in time, right?
That's not that. That's at noon the next day. That wasn't after the murder. He doesn't go there.
Yeah, but what I'm even saying is noon the next day. Nobody wants to take that drive down to Clarkston.
Why is that?
It's a horrible drive. We have what's called the Lewiston grade to get down there, and it's horrible.
Yeah, right here.
It's horrible. The Lewiston grade. Yeah, it's like literally Google it. It's death. It's death. Yeah, it's death. Nobody goes down there unless you need to.
Really?
But it's horrible. Yeah.
Get rid of something.
Yeah, that's my first impression is why would somebody go down to Lewiston grade unless they wanted to go to Red Lobster down there or something? But it's like he didn't go to Red Lobster. He literally went down that terrible grade and went over to a little coffee shop and probably tossed something in the Snake River. That's what I'm kind of guessing. But
well, I mean, you saw did you see that video I put out? A couple days ago. So yeah, I mean, I think that's my speculation is he went over here.
Up there, yeah. I mean, he could have done a twofold. He could have, buried some and tossed another. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah,
but
definitely
nobody's going to go down to the banks of Clarkston just for a cup of coffee and do that grade. unless he was trying to get away or do something. That's for sure.
Interesting.
Or he drove down there for nothing just so everybody would waste their time.
I just don't see why he goes down. Okay, so you're making my point even more because I didn't realize that it's such a pain in the ass to drive it.
It's a pain, yeah.
So that's interesting because, like, you know, people try to, you know, say like, well, what if he's doing all this just to throw people off the scent? And my point is why is he going to drive and do all this and get to this area? Because I overlaid this map. I went on the cellular website and got all the cell towers and I overlaid them. Like I cut them and then I fucking put them in and I had to fucking make sure that it was exactly where it is. You can see, you know, and I had to go in and I mapped every area that had no cell tower service. So this red area has no cell. So like this is the only area in the whole area that has no cell like this. And so why would he get to here where he can be completely anonymous and off the record and and not hide it? It's like this is where you're
no
gonna go to
man's
hide
land
it.
out there. Yeah, that's no man's land out
Yeah,
that
you're
way.
gonna hide. This is where you go to hide. They'll never find it here ever. It's impossible. Like you have to. I mean, over here they're gonna have a relative idea of where he goes. He can go anywhere here. They have no idea.
I think they'd have a better way of I mean, they wouldn't know his cell phone or where, but I think they'd have a better way of tracking a thing than versus getting into the Snake River, though. But
Snake River is a good argument, but that goes down here, doesn't it? Say Snake River.
No, that's. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the Clearwater and the Snake. They merge down there. Yeah.
So like, I think Clearwater goes this way. I believe.
No, Clearwater goes. Yeah. Clearwater goes over and down, and then Snake keeps on going into Columbia River.
So Snake kind of goes more due south, like immediately from Lewiston.
That's the Clearwater up north. And then that goes down, and then the Snake goes into Columbia River up. So the one going west is the Snake.
Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
It's confusing. But nobody goes down to Clarkston just for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, so he doesn't go down there for a cup of coffee.
No.
He doesn't go down there for Albertsons.
No.
He goes down there to stop off, get coffee, and then drive. In my opinion, drive out here.
Whatever he did,
do whatever he does out here.
He had a mission. You don't go down that grade just for a cup of coffee.
I mean, and if you plot out this whole area, it's about 30,000 square miles of total area. He can.
Yeah,
so
that's
good
where
luck,
the
law enforcement.
That's where the
finding
Nez Perce. Yeah, that's where the Nez Perce reservations out in that area.
Mm-hmm.
He drove his own car. I mean, I don't see him burying it. I see him I visualize him getting out of his car and getting scared or something and just throwing it, just tossing it.
Well, he never stops until we know he's traveling out here and he's not stopping. So we don't, that's the thing with the cell phone. That's why he goes out where there's a cell phone tower. So he can't, over let's say right. Oh, let me pull up some of the towers. Like here's all these towers and here's all the signals, right? So they know, and then also over here, this one, pull it up. But they know whenever he gets through this area,
right?
Because there's a cell tower here, but mine's not pulling up right at the moment. Here we go. I got you.
Yeah, I remember a long time ago when they were talking about the car exiting out, kind of going in that direction. I said nobody goes out there. I know a lot of people go hunting, not so much far out there in the reservation land, but it's you don't go out there.
So out here, right here, he can't stop here. And I'm pretty sure he knows that because they'll know if he stops. So you can't stop and get rid of the knife here on this. He doesn't stop here and get rid of the knife here. He can't stop here. He could possibly, right here, he can't stop. And he could have possibly stopped here, but right here. But they know that his timing, and then there's a road.
In chat, who thinks that he did discard the knife or hide the knife, or who thinks he still has it?
I think he
got rid of it.
Say?
I would guess.
I think he got rid of it.
There's no way he holds onto it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially if the sheath is there, they don't want to match it up. He tossed that bad boy.
Yeah, it's almost. I don't know if it's a difference between how men think and women think, but it seems like a lot of the men kind of agree that he got rid of it. But
It's a material.
and it seems like a lot of women think
Now,
that
what he could have done is burn the clothes up there, did something and burned them, and then went down to the snake and tossed a knife, kind of in a
I
two-sequence
like the
thing.
Snake River idea. I mean, if it's not
Yeah.
in here, it's in the Snake River, in my opinion. I like 100%.
Because look at how close that Albertsons is to the waterfront too. Literally, you
But-
just go on the other side and you can just.
But the only thing
toss
is
it
just
right
all these
in.
cell towers here. I mean, I guess if it's in Snake River, it's gone forever. They won't find it. It doesn't matter if they see him
It's
throwing
going to be
any.
tough to find. Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems like if he's doing that, it's eliminating the odds of them finding it, but it still leaves it up to chance if they find it or not. But if he goes out
The
here,
weird thing is you don't see any dive teams out there. Do you know what I mean? I haven't heard of any
You haven't
dive
heard of
teams
any of 'em?
looking. Nothing at all.
I think what Spicy Sugar said is interesting. Hit it where he can go and back and retrieve it later, because what he thinks he's gonna
Maybe.
outsmart
Yeah.
everyone, and he didn't think he's gonna be arrested for the rest of his life or get
Yeah.
the death penalty. So he would think he'd be able to get it
I could see it being
probably.
I could see that being possible, but I could see because he can run a lot. So I think he drives. Wasn't he running like miles and miles or whatever? He can he was jogging
Training.
for like couple hours of run like, hours at a time.
Yeah.
I think he drives out here and goes out somewhere out here, and he probably came out here a couple of times because he's got a lot of miles on his car for kind of not like out of nowhere, and I think he's come out here a couple times and he's jogged or wherever, found places, and he finds a spot he likes, and then it's probably out of the way, and he goes, parks, and runs to that deep in the place wood spot, hides it there, and then runs back.
It's kind of gutsy out there with all the mountain lion stuff. That's gutsy. But
Yeah,
Didn't he just get his phone too? He just got a new phone.
He's a vegan, so they won't eat him. What's that?
Yeah, right. Doesn't taste good.
I said, didn't he just get a new phone recently?
I'm not sure. I don't know on that or not. I
think it was like when he got there or something. He got a new phone, and that's why they quit making the back of phones come off where you can get the battery out, because you can turn the phone off, but the phone's always on.
I guess I always had just a gut feeling from day one, before they even knew it was him, that whoever did it, my first gut feel was whoever did it tossed that thing in the river. I was like, if I was to do it as a local, I was like, that thing's in the Snake River.
And that's what I heard. I heard that all like Lowe's, like a rumor of the locals said like that's a good place to do that, and I thought that first for a long time, and
but going out that way he's got to do something out there now. Did he go to collect his thoughts? Did he go to kind of get away and hide?
3 hours.
Did he collect his thoughts? Say, okay, what am I gonna do now? Who knows?
You know what, Jim, too, he could have done is he could have gone home, bleached all of his clothes up, and bleached his knife up, or whatever, and then came out and thrown the clothes in the river and let that float away.
I don't know if you want to throw your
bury the
clothes
knife
in the
out
river.
here.
Because there's a dam right down the road there, though. There's the granite dam right down the road. So I don't know if you don't want to take that. Knife I could see, but I don't know anything that wants to float.
Oh, that's a good point.
But I don't know. Could
I
be
thought
wrong.
it was weird about the receipts at the house and the search warrant. Like, couldn't someone just wash their clothes and just return them to the store? And after a month of nobody even noticing him, he could have just washed them and sent them back, and then they'd be gone.
Maybe there might be a paper trail. You're hoping that the store doesn't keep a track record, doesn't track that returned item, because they could easily locate it if.
We just found. That's what I mean. I mean, that's a possibility, because people buy clothes all the time and just return the same day and get their receipt back.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, it's.
We don't know. That's the whole problem, is we don't know all this stuff yet.
All I know is this behavior, everything he did, this driving around from Stadium Way to the other side to Moscow, to everything that he did was super suspect. Like, nobody goes that route. None of these routes.
That right.
Especially, it's just not. I mean, there's a Lewiston grade right there, right? I mean, and that doesn't really do it justice. It's horrible.
Oh my gosh.
What do you
Sorry.
think the reason he had so many miles on his car? I don't really buy that he was a door dasher. Do you think that he was like stalking people from different areas and that's why he got so many miles on his car? Or what do you think the reason why he had so many miles?
I mean, I think a
What year
possibility
was
is him driving out here quite a bit and like scoping this area out. But,
I mean,
that's
that's hard to say because they don't know. Did they buy that car brand new? Did they get it used? You know what I mean? It's
True.
hard to say there. It's
true. I
Yeah,
assume he
that-
bought it new, but I don't know.
yeah.
many
So
miles
this,
was it?
I think it's like 100
Supposedly there
something.
was a ton put in a short period of time.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, unless he was going up to Spokane, and I don't know.
It's a
Because in
beautiful
Pullman, you
area out
don't
here.
need that.
Yeah.
There's no denying that.
Sorry, I keep blocking your face, El Guapo, with the
No,
comments.
it's okay. No, it's fine.
Mindy
See, if
T
he-
said, yeah, 10K miles in 4 months.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Dang.
Do you Allie wants to know, Charles, if you have any personal experience with cell phone in that area, and which provider you use if you do?
I mean, T-Mobile. I'm on it now.
T-Mobile.
It works. But I don't go out that far. You know what I mean? I mostly just stick to Spokane and then Pullman, and I'll go to Moscow every now and then. But
What what's the consensus on like which providers that has the best service out there? Do you know?
I mean, I think it's just about everybody. I think it's no different than anywhere else. It's just kind of personal opinion. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think
Where are you going?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you got to realize that most people that live in Pullman, unless you are a worker, are from somewhere else. So the majority of people are from the Seattle area. They're from the Spokane area. They're from, all over, but they're not from Pullman. So the chance of people going in on a number, like my number is not I don't have a Pullman number. I have an Arizona number,
Okay.
But the majority of people that come over here probably got like a 206 number from Seattle or Spokane, or North Coeur d'Alene area. So a lot of people just bring their cell phones there, but local providers, I think my brother has T-Mobile.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Upside down, I agree. I think there's a big possibility he threw something in the river, and Charles, like you're saying,
it's hard to say, but it's just
but
my gut
you know,
instinct. That's what it is. Yeah.
But the fact that he drives out here he's out here for 3 hours,
Here's another thing, right? So Clarkston, there's Lewiston. So see where it tees, see where that river tees down there? Down where Lewiston and Clarkston, zoom in on there. So the majority of people most of the stuff is in Lewiston, which is to the right. That's Idaho. And then you cross this river here, and then you go into Clarkston, which is to the left. There's like a Costco over here in Clarkston. But if you zoom into where that Albertsons is, where he was at, I think it's by the waterfront.
Yeah, it's right here.
Where's it at? Over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it is it's weird that most people just go to Lewiston. I mean, he crossed over into Clarkston, but the proximity to the water is what kind of gets me there. Up north, you know what I mean? I'm thinking there's like a couple old docks up north.
Oh, right here?
No, go to the north. Go up north. Okay.
Yeah, you're talking about right here.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of old docks up there.
I mean, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, is the water current real strong right here?
It's pretty deep where you can run shipping lanes. So there's like a barge area up there that you can run barges all the way down to Columbia. Boats in there now, but if you keep on going, that current goes to the left and inside to the Columbia River there. So it's pretty deep. Yeah, I mean, you could tell by the grades and the way the gorges are and the way the elevation goes. A lot of the water in the Northwest is really deep there. So
It
it's
looks
not
like
like we're talking ankle deep.
Right. Yeah, it
And
looks
then
like
if you
almost
keep,
industrial-ish.
it is, and then you keep on going down, there's a series of dams, like the Lower Granite Dam's coming up, and then but that's pretty deep there. Yeah.
So the water's running this way, right? Because the ocean's getting close
Yeah,
over here.
it keeps on going, then it merges into the Columbia River up by the Tri-Cities.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, and then it merges into the Columbia River, and then the Columbia River goes into the Portland, past Portland and the Pacific Ocean.
It's like Long Beach, I think, is what
Going
you
up.
said.
Yeah.
So yeah, and just for context of how big this area is with no cell phone service. I mean, here's the coast. I know I didn't zoom out, but now you can see just how. I mean, it's almost like a
Oh
size.
yeah.
It's like close to the nearest damn size of California, almost like half
Yep.
of it at least.
Yeah, it's pretty shady out there. I mean, I've been up there hiking and stuff several times up in that area. It's not one of my favorite ones to go to, but
Do you see any mountain lions?
yeah,
Or
I actually have a friend of mine who is a tattoo artist in Spokane, and he tattooed a mural of a cougar on a guy that got mauled by one. If that makes any sense.
Whoa, was that?
Yeah.
He tattooed a dead body?
No, a guy got mauled. He survived, but he got mauled by a cougar, and the guy got a tattoo. My buddy did of the mountain lion that mauled him. Yeah, up in Spokane. But that's Nez Perce, so a lot of that's Native American land down there, right? So that's a big tribe down there. In there.
We actually have mountain lions and bobcats over in Southern California too. They're making like a wildlife passing by, I don't want to dox myself, but we're close to where someone, family lives, but they're making a wildlife passing. So, because a lot of mountain lions are getting hit on the freeways. So, so it'll literally take I don't know how the mountain lions are supposed to know they're supposed to go over this. They
do.
On this trail, but they're supposed to go from like point A to then go into the mountains, and so. But yeah, they're making this thing for the mountain lions and stuff. It's interesting. But Holly said, I've said this on no less than 10 YouTube channels. Please, let's discuss. Why didn't BK ditch the car knowing law enforcement was after it? I think he hid the knife on the car.
Well, how much money does BK have? How much cash does he have disposable? Like, can he? Some people can't afford to just buy a new car. I don't think he was really that. I don't know if he was that rich or not.
I don't know. But when they were talking about the car in the beginning, I was like, I bet the car is not around anymore. I bet that they've sold all the parts or that they've scrapped it. Some people said it's probably been put in a river or drowned. So I didn't think that the car was going to be found either.
Yeah, me neither. I was surprised they found it so close.
With the car, it's hard though, because if you rented a car to do it, that's obvious. And if you got rid of your car right after something happened and it was the same color as yours or something, that would be obvious too.
Yeah. The thing about it is obviously this guy has a level of arrogance and cockiness that I'm glad it bit him in the, or hopefully it'll bite him. You know what I mean? Because you're absolutely correct. Because I remember I said before, when the car was first released, I know businesses in Grand were like, hey, there's feds asking us for cameras going in and out of the city. This is 2 weeks before it was announced nationally. Locals knew that the feds were looking at cameras in Pullman. So then it kind of broke that this car's out there. But yeah, I agree with Holly. I mean, that's kind of, why wouldn't he ditch that thing? I mean, even that, why wouldn't he go take it up to Spokane and put it in a, you know what I mean? It'll get jacked up there. Someone's going to jack it.
Go ahead, Val.
Oh, I was just going to say, you would think with all of his classes that he was taking, this would be something that he would have thought of.
And I wonder if the fact that he was enrolled in those classes, if he thought that might give him some cover or something. Like maybe oh, he's a student of criminology, he wouldn't do this or something. I don't know why he felt so comfortable having that car so close. I agree. I don't know why he didn't get rid of it. And what was he thinking that, what was his cover going to be? What was his alibi going to be? Oh no, I'm studying criminology, so I'm a good guy.
Right? I like what Brianna said. She said, "I'm surprised no one from Reddit survey told him not to drive his personal
Yeah,
car to the crime."
exactly. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
proves my point, though, of
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning, I thought, who would be that dumb to drive their own car? And then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, he's a criminology and he does all this stuff. Once people get something in their mind, they're going to do something. Everything else is blind to them. They have one
It's true.
objective, is to go
Yeah.
to that house and do that. So I think literally his snow vision or blizzard, whatever it was, might have got ahead of him or something, because a lot of people can't plan a perfect crime. It's hard to nowadays, let alone keep your mind on one objective. But I don't think from the beginning he didn't care about getting caught. Like, I think this was his go out with a bang, get my spotlight, and just I'm gonna just. And he knew that that state is a death penalty state.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I'm gonna hop off. I appreciate y'all letting me come up here.
Yeah, I
Charles, it
think
was
I'm gonna jump down
pleasure
too.
pleasure
All
talking to you,
right, I'm
Charles.
gonna end it soon. I just want to like show one other thing, and then I'm gonna end
And
it.
I didn't mean to hijack your conversation. I just figured, just remember that building now, because I think that's gonna come into play sooner or later.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah, no, I'm so happy that you showed us that, because I think that definitely I would think he for sure could have gone there. That makes perfect
You know he was in that building. You know he was.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't heard this yet either. I appreciate you showing us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Love you, Val.
HL.
Love the channel. Everyone, y'all have a good night. We'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, and El Guapo, if anyone can drop his link and I'll check out that video too. You're gone. He bounces right very quickly. But okay, I wanted to show the one thing. K-Braze, don't leave me yet. You're still here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. So here it just says 8 reasons why he could get off, possibly. I won't go into all of it, but 1, there's no murder weapon. His DNA was found on a knife sheath, not the victim's. The witnesses waited hours to call police, and they gave a vague description that kind of looks like him. But there's no apparent motive. Asking about an accomplice. All of the evidence so far seems circumstantial. A lot of rides on test results of hairs and fibers. Cell tower pings might not be accurate. So it says former FBI agent Jennifer Coffendafer told Newsweek that cell tower pings are within a range. So usually around 3/4 of a mile or so. The video surveillance, there's a margin for error. So because of that, we don't know if the time was exact. And so those are reasons why he could possibly get off. And then I will just play one other video. It's again about Murphy, but it has also to do with the other items found at his apartment. And then I will let everybody go for the night. I'm sure people are tired. So here, let me just get that ready. And then if you could just put a 1 in chat if you hear it.
Police in Washington took from the apartment of Brian Kohberger, the man accused of killing four college students at the nearby University of Idaho. A newly unsealed warrant shows officers took, among other things, one black glove, the dustbin for a vacuum cleaner, a pillow with a, quote, red-brownish stain, a Fire TV stick, and 13 possible hair strands. Now, it was noted that these could be either
human or animal hairs. Police in Moscow, Idaho, allege that Kohberger got into the rented off-campus home and killed 4 of the 6 people inside. Authorities laid out multiple damning pieces of evidence against Kohberger in their probable cause affidavit, including linking him to DNA found on a knife sheath left in one of the bedrooms. But what if he took something back with him? After reading the warrant information, many people are wondering if that animal hair could possibly belong to victim Kaylee Gonsalves' dog named Murphy. That dog was at the home during the murders. And if a dog hair did make it back to Kohberger's apartment, can experts make any specific determinations?
A lot of the hair that's shed, both from people and from animals, will have a little skin on it, right where it came out. If there's some of that, they can connect it directly to that dog the same as they could with a person. But if there is none, they can still compare the hair to the dog's hair microscopically, and they can rule out, most dogs. They can say, well, they can't identify it as directly coming from that dog, but they can say that that's the exact same kind of hair, which rules out most dogs, but isn't the same thing as having a DNA test that says, yes, this came from this dog.
Okay, so Brian, let's say that the dog hair that was recovered from Kohberger is from the same breed as the dog in the victim's home. Does that mean that the jury is definitely going to hear about this evidence?
Maybe, maybe not. Now, if you're saying same breed, I would say no. It would be like saying, hey, Jesse Weber's accused of killing a woman and she's a redhead and Jesse has red hair on his shirt. I don't think that's enough. But if you can get it down to the specific dog, because I know most people think, oh, it's hair and you can test it, but no, you need the hair follicle or the skin attached to the hair to test. If you could get it to the exact dog, I think that is the nail in the coffin. It's going to be a rough day for Brian Kohberger, and that probably is going to be one more thing that convicts him. But just a breed, judge might say it's not relevant enough and keep it out of the trial altogether.
Did you do that on purpose? I think you did that on purpose. Yep, okay. It's fine. Terry, you actually took a closer look at the search warrant in general. What else can you tell us about it that we haven't talked about?
Well, the original search warrant doesn't list all of those individual items. It just says generally we have probable cause to look for clothes and to look for any sort of digital information. And they went in there and they found a ton of evidence in his home. They found the digital tower that he worked with on his computer. They found a nitrix type glove, a black glove. As you mentioned, they found hair, some human, some dog hair, and they also found a ton of information as far as receipts are concerned, and they're going to look at those receipts to see if he purchased anything else in connection with that murder. For instance, the murder weapon. They did have in the search warrant a sentence that said any sort of knife, but they didn't find that. So they might still find that knife if they look at all of the evidence that they recovered from that scene.
And we're all getting more information. As the weeks progress, as more information develops, you're seeing how they ultimately honed in on him and why they honed in on him.
I thought that's interesting. Sorry, my mic went out for a second, but I thought that's interesting that they said they are looking for receipts about that they might find the receipt of him buying the knife. Do you think that he bought it recently or that he's had it in his possession for a while?
You asking me, Val?
Everybody,
Oh,
you,
okay.
chat. Yeah. Do you think, because I was thinking that it's probably something that he's had for a while. But I don't know. What do you think? And in chat, do you think that he's had this for a while, the knife, or do you think that it's a recent purchase?
It's hard to say with all that evidence coming out about the glove and the receipts for all this other stuff. It's kind of like we don't even know when that stuff was bought.
Yeah, it could be a family heirloom,
Yeah.
a family, that it was given to him, something like that.
Yeah, that's just hard to. I'm pretty sure that some places where you buy knives and stuff, like Walmart and all that, you get ID'd and they scan it that way because you have to be 18 or older or something like that. But at least the Walmart by my house, you have to get even just BBs. For a BB gun, you have to have or spray paint or anything. They literally scan your ID. So I'm just not sure. It could.
Yeah, I'm so some people are saying they feel recent but not through stores. Other people are saying, Jay said he thinks that it's been a while because he's been fantasizing about it for years. And then I see a question that said they find blood in the apartment. So there was blood he had a stained mattress. So I don't know if he did, and also obviously they did at the house. But I'm wondering if he got in his bed with blood on him still. You heard about how on his mattress that there were stains, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
And
so I'm curious.
hello.
Yeah, so I don't know if he didn't shower and he got in bed because he was just so exhausted and still had their blood on him, possibly. But yeah, so that I believe that there is blood in his. I'm not positive. I don't know, but I know that there was stains on his mattress, and it does seem weird because he's such a clean freak that he would be in it. So that's why I would think it would be recent stains, unless it wasn't to the naked eye and it was something that they had to put lighting to it.
Yeah, what's the timeline, Val, on when it actually happened at the house till when the search warrant and they found it? It was a while, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would think it would be almost like 2 months, right?
Yeah, so it's like if he's a clean freak and all this, and he did go home because he was tired. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but I wash my blankets like every week at least when I do my laundry. I have a cat, but just because. But man, 2 months, and it's weird to me too that he left everything. That there is the same. We don't know what the stains are from or anything. You know, it could be from nosebleed or scab. You know, we don't know
Yeah.
exactly, but at the same time, it's like you left receipts, you left, you know, a glove, stuff that was an importance to them that literally they took during the search warrant. Like you left all this stuff at your house, you drove your own car. Like what's it's like he was playing his own game of Clue. Like he
That's what it really does seem like with this case. Like
man.
it really does. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. I mean, I don't know. I hate to say it like that, but yeah, I mean, this whole case has been absolutely crazy. But I just want to say thank you, Kay Brace, for coming up. I really appreciate it, for sticking through the whole night with me,
Oh
and
yeah.
everyone for being here. Let me see. I'll try and say all your names. Jay, Allie Cattails, Wellness Sarah, Texas Girl, Jay Lord, Angels Lie to Keep Control, Mindy, Liza, of course, Upside Down, Joan Kelly, that's another Kelly. So I know that sounds like I said that twice. Lindsay Lay, El Guapo, thanks for coming up. Psycho, Truth Seeker, Misfit, of course, thank you. I'm so happy you could make it. Tad Russell, A. Charles, thank you for coming up. Let's see who else. Texas Girl, Spicy Sugar, thank you. And you wrote a lot of comments that were really interesting. Holly, NorCal Jim, thank you for still being here. Angie, I'm seeing if there's anyone else that Nora's grandma, you're still here. Thank you. Let's see. Brianna, PD. Thanks for being here, PD. Way up, dude. Liza, thank you for being here and coming up on panel as always. And we need to get you a better mic. I need to get you. I might get you the mic I have, possibly. Let's see who else. Charnel, Amy, McGeezy, Lene, Anne, Jessica 420, Angel. Oh, I think I said Angels. Lex Luthor, I hope you had a great birthday. Poppy, thank you for coming up. Kelly, Mindy, Spicy Sugar, I think I said your name. B Server, I'm like saying multiple. I'm like, it's late now. Anna Morris, I don't want to miss anyone. So, Lady V, thank you so much for coming up. I know you're not here anymore, but okay. I think that's everyone. All right. Thank you everyone so much, and I'll try and make the streams more frequent. I'm just trying to. It's hard to figure out with the times because I know that like there's a lot of creators covering this, so it's just hard to figure out a time. But if this is a good time for everyone, then I could keep doing this time. So, is this a good time for everyone? Are you guys all good for late nights? If this time slot is good, can you put a 1, or if you prefer earlier, let me know. Great time for you, Jay. Okay. Okay, Braze, are you an insomniac? Is this a good time for you?
Oh, I'm up all the time. I only get like 2-3 hours of sleep.
Well, you need to get more sleep.
Yeah, I got medical problems.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
It's 4:30 where you are. Kentucky, hi. I didn't see you before. Did you just get here, Kentucky? Brandy's. Okay, so everyone's saying that this is a good time for the most part, but a little bit, someone said a little bit earlier. All right, so maybe we'll try to do a little bit earlier from now on, but still do insomniac time. All right, so thank you again, everyone, for being here. I hope that you have a great night and can get some sleep. And K-Brace, hopefully you can get more than 3 hours tonight. And I will see you guys all later. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.